talk, money more. What? Main crew say they with it. Kicking down the door. Let's go. And it's the whole lane when I'm driving the machines.
Good Friday evening, everyone. Heavy Pour Sports, dropping the hammer. I am the hammer. We're not going to drop me. However,
we might.
Depending on what kind of takes I throw out there, Drew might throw hands through the screen. Drew, Joshy boy, what's going on, fellas?
Hey, let's talk some football on this Friday night. That's all I got for you.
Football Friday indeed. Josh, how you been? I don't know if Josh is frozen. Can't hear me. I think he might have been froze. Josh, can you hear me?
Not sure what's going on.
Not sure what's going on. All right, Josh, you might have to drop out, jump back in, might have a bad cell, whatever. So, anyway, all right, so we are looking at the Big Ten. Let's try Joshy boy again. Josh, can you?
Sorry, guys.
Hey, there you are. All right.
Sorry, I'm back. Yeah.
Went south on us there for a second. So, all right. So we're looking at
Gotcha.
Big Ten, the MAC, and the Sun Belt. No Billy, just the Sun Belt.
Sun Belt Billy? He's back.
No.
Well,
he's back.
I guess group of 5 level.
Yeah, no Billy. All right, let me see. In my hecticness of the week, I left my notes on my desk at work. So I'm going to be running off some highlights and random thoughts off of my notes on my phone and what I can stumble through looking at a screen up here as well. So I'm going to rely on you boys on some of this tonight because all that research I put into is not at the ready. So anyway, all right, so Sun Belt. We got a couple teams that are, I guess you can refer to them as kind of heavies in James Madison, Old Dominion, Louisiana. I kind of like Marshall.
Maybe throw Marshall in there. Yeah.
Yeah, I kind of like them a little bit more than maybe some of the mainstream media goes. Probably not going to see a team win more than, I don't know, 9 games might be the ceiling here, maybe 10 if somebody catches a break somewhere. But Josh, we'll start with you. Kind of tell us a little bit about who you like in the Sun Belt as far as maybe winning the conference, and then also if you've got any teams that you think are mispriced either way with their win total mark, and we'll dig into it a little.
Yeah. Yeah. So let me get Marshall pulled up on my phone. I got some notes here. They're bringing in Tony Gibson, second year at the helm, and they're bringing back their quarterback, Del Rio Wilson Carlos, senior, and they're bringing in 4 transfers, one at the right tackle, one at the center, one at the left guard, and one at the wide receiver slot position. And they returned 2, 3, 4. They returned 6 guys on the offensive side of the ball. Their running back, Barbie Joshan, tight end Toby Payne, their right guard Jalen Slappy, their left tackle Tyreek Montgomery, their wide receiver DeAndre Tamares, and their other wide receiver Adrian Norton. I'm just high on this Marshall team this year, guys. I think conference wise, they can win about 6 games in the conference. Middle Tennessee, Missouri State, and well, that's non-conference shit. Louisiana Monroe, Georgia State. I see them beating Appalachian State. They got some tough road games at Old Dominion, at Georgia Southern, at James Madison. I just feel like this team is going to be at the 5-6 ceiling level of conference wise, win wise, and they travel to Happy Valley out of conference. They go. They're home against Middle Tennessee. They go at Missouri State, and they're home against Gardner Webb out of conference. I took their win total over 7.5 wins. I'm really high on this Marshall team this season.
All right, yeah, I think probably chalk up Penn State as a loss. That team's probably going to be pretty good. I don't like their chances. I don't like anybody's chances for that matter playing at James Madison. So I think the Old Dominion could be kind of a toss-up game, even though
I see that as a 50-50 game.
Yeah, it could be kind of toss-up. Maybe it is at Old Dominion,
Yeah.
so I think that probably favors Old Dominion there. But Marshall can get hot, get on a roll, then you never know because quarterback continuity is a good thing.
For sure.
And I'm trying to see, they had 9 preseason all-conference selections, and Carlos Del Rio Wilson was a Player of the Year candidate preseason.
I believe he won it.
Yeah.
He won it. Okay.
Yeah. I guess if "win's" the right word, or was
awarded maybe. Yeah.
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 Okay. Yeah. So his stats are modest, but good, and the fact that you've got that kind of experience and production coming back, I kind of like them over that number too. I think a lot of people have them kind of 6-6, kind of splitting the road games. Obviously, the Penn State games you have to expect that to be a loss. So
it's a loss.
I kind of like them a little bit. They sort of fell short last year. Their win total last year was 5.5. They went 5-7. But just like this year, a lot of people were predicting them to be just terrible, and they weren't great, but they were better than people thought. I think they're still better than what people think this season as well. So I kind of do. I kind of like the over 7.5. It won't be by much. They'll have to catch a break here or there.
Yeah.
Especially with a couple of those road games, but I'm throwing the dice.
Is the Sun Belt Conference, is that still division wise?
Yep.
It is.
Yeah.
Yes, that's why when I hear another team that I like is for that very reason. So Drew, who do you like, or what do you see in the Sun Belt? Who do you think is going to be a team we need to look for?
Yeah, I like the Marshall play out of you guys. You guys alluded on it. Carlos Del Rio Wilson, transfer from Florida and Syracuse. You mentioned the preseason Player of the Year. I think it's important in the mid-major conference when you get to bring back a really good quarterback. I think that can be a lot of times in the mid-major conferences, the separation in some of these lower-level leagues. Last year, nearly 70% completion percentage, 2,043 passing yards, 17 touchdowns, 5 interceptions, 660 rushing yards, 6 rushing touchdowns. So you kind of know what you're going to get in a quarterback, which I think helps Marshall a lot. I think in the West, I like Troy a lot. I think that's just a program that's been consistent for the last 10 years. It seems like they've been at the top of the Sun Belt, and they've had multitude of different coaches, and the program still continues to have success. I think in the East, you could make a case for probably 3 teams. James Madison, obviously, who won it last year. Obviously, coach is gone and they hired Billy Napier. So we'll see how that goes. But, Billy Napier didn't work out at Florida very well, but he's proven that he can dominate at the group of 5 level. So maybe he can do it again at James Madison and taking over a program that obviously has had a lot of success over the last few years, even though they had a ton of guys leave the door. And then I like Old Dominion as well, like you mentioned, Hammer. So to me, I think just looking at it in the preseason, I think 3 teams are up there in the East. I think the West, I think Troy stands out the most to me. Especially in a player that I was doing some research, Donnie Smith, edge rusher. He was a junior college player 2 years ago at East Central. He's the 2026 Sun Belt preseason defensive player of the year. And first team all Sun Belt last year, had 44 tackles, 13.5 tackle for loss, and 11 sacks, which was 8th nationally. So, that's a beast up front that's going to cause, Sun Belt teams some issues. So, yeah, I don't know. This conference is going to be interesting for sure, especially with the divisions. I think it's maybe the only conference left in Division I football with divisions. So that always kind of throws a wrench because you could have 2 of the powerhouses in one league, and we don't get to see them, meet in a conference championship because of the division. So, yeah.
Yeah, it is, because we got used to it for so long, right?
Everybody had the division.
For Tennessee, Kentucky, was win the East because that gets you to the conference championship game, and anything can happen there. So it's, I guess they're holding on to their tradition. So good for them. So with that in mind, it's a team I am high on is Troy for that very reason. Because when you look at the rest of that division, the only other team that I think might come out with at least a 500 or better record this season is Louisiana, and they've got Southern Cal on their schedule, and then they don't really have a whole lot of other teams that are going to be really challenging to them other than Troy. They do play at Southern Miss, and this is not the Southern Miss team of the past few seasons. They're in a little bit of a rebuild. Louisiana Tech will always be a tough game for Louisiana.
You have no confidence in your former. You have no confidence in your former ball coach and Butch Jones down there in Jonesboro. Now I say that for 2 reasons. Number one, my brother played his freshman year of college baseball at Arkansas State, so Wolves up, I guess. That number one, but number 2,
they're what, 6.5?
Yeah.
Yeah, 6.5.
I've got them. I'm not touching it, but I've got them at 6.
Unfortunate part too.
7.
Yeah.
I think the 2 Georgia schools. Huh?
I said the unfortunate part for A-State too is they lost their quarterback to Iowa State, who was a really good player last year. Or I guess the last few years, he started the last 3 years for Arkansas State and Jalen Rayner. So, these mid-major programs like that can be a huge difference maker when they lose a player like that. So they'll probably take a little bit of a step back.
Yeah, they're like AA. They're like AA clubs to the Power 4. Any like guy that shows any flash or exactly. So that's exactly what it is. I've got them right on that 6 mark because I think Georgia State, West Georgia. I always called Auburn West Georgia, so it's not the same. But they play at Memphis, at TCU for a couple of big out-of-conference games. I think they'll probably lose both of those. Then when you look at the rest of their schedule, they're at Coastal, which this is not, again, the Coastal team's not going to be very good. They might win 4 or 5 games. Kennesaw State could give them problems at Louisiana and Louisiana Tech. And then mentioned at Southern Miss. Then they have a South Alabama, Troy, and Louisiana Monroe. So I just don't see a path to them getting more than 6. And I don't care if I'm right or not because they have Bush Jones. So they don't deserve anything good. But I really
Hammer,
do like,
didn't he cry after? Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
No, I was just saying I like Troy coming out of the West. I think they can win. I think they can win 8, maybe 9, depending on how they catch a couple of these teams. The 2
Yeah.
road games at James Madison, at Missouri, hard to say. Yeah, those are going to be wins, but honestly, man, at Louisiana is probably their the only other tough game on their schedule. At Utah State, also, let me point that out because we've seen Utah State look really good at times as well. So again, it depends on how things look going into these games. What the environment is with their with their win streak or whatever. So I think they win at least 8. So
Yeah.
I'm absolutely hammering over 6.5. That is one of my best bets out of this.
That's
conference.
Troy's line, correct?
For Troy.
Yeah, Troy
Yeah,
6.5. Also,
like
the other one I absolutely love is Georgia Southern at 4.5. I think they will go over that 4.5. I don't know
I agree.
easily,
I like it.
but I think they get. I think this team can win 7 games. They do play at Clemson and they host Houston, and at Troy. Of course, they get James Madison, but I think that this team is going to be pretty good. So those are my 3. Or well, I didn't tell you my third. My Old Dominion over 7.5, Troy over 6.5, and Georgia Southern over 4.5. Those are my best plays for these for this division. What are you going to say, Josh? I'm sorry.
Yeah, I think Butch cried after one of the games when they came back and won this past season, if memory serves me right.
He also cried in his first year, I think, when they were losing by like 60 to Oklahoma on the side, something like that. So I guess he's a little emotional these days.
Yeah,
definitely.
It's got to be. And then I think probably when you look at odds for the conference, I mean James Madison is the short favorite at plus 270. And that's probably going to be who wins it. But Troy is sitting there at plus 800. And I feel like their schedule and being in the West kind of paves the way for them to get there. So I really like Troy at plus 800 to win the division. To win the conference. So wouldn't put the boys' college money on it, but I think it's worth a little sprinkle because 8-1 for a team that's probably the second, maybe third best team in this conference, and James Madison, Old Dominion both can't go to the conference championship. To your point,
right?
Yeah, Marshall in there.
Somebody's got to come, and Marshall's plus
850.
Yeah,
so
850.
Another one, if they, especially if they start out and look good the first few games, I mean that is going to shrink quickly. So any kind of thought or belief, hope for Marshall there, then that's. Now's the time because that number's not going to hold.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I got him at plus 750.
Okay, yeah.
Marshall
got him plus 850. Troy plus 800. Old Dominion plus 460. Louisiana plus 700, and then James Madison plus 270. Everybody else is plus 11-1 or higher odds, and I just don't think there's any other. It's probably a 3-team league, honestly, with James Madison. Whoever wins the James Madison Old Dominion game is probably going to be in the driver's seat. And then it's going to take something pretty heroic out of the rest of the West to keep Troy from getting in there. So so that's kind of how I see it. If you guys want to give me a division winner, or excuse me, I keep saying division because I'm hung up on NFL. If you guys want to give me a conference winner on the Sunday.
Yeah, I want to talk about one more team before I give you mine.
Go ahead.
Yeah. Hammer, if you can pull it up, what's Louisiana's win total at?
I just had it. I think it is 7.5.
7.5.
7.5. It is, yes.
Yeah, I like Louisiana to go over that 7.5 wins. Like you were saying, the only tough game they have out of conference is at USC, and they're returning most of everybody on their starting on offensive side of the ball. Which, they are, and most of everybody on the defensive side of the ball, except for one transfer coming in at the defensive end position, Tito Shakiri. I see in conference the only tough game that they have in conference would be that Southern Miss game, and I still think that's a winnable game. So I definitely see them going over 6.5. What'd you say? Six, right?
The Louisiana's 7.5.
7.5. Yeah, I see them going over 7.5 wins.
Okay. They do get Troy at
And
home, which is a plus.
yeah, and I really like this quarterback they have. His name is Lunch Winfield for Louisiana. Really good kid. He can sling it.
Yeah, they've been known to sling the ball around a little bit. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
that's at Louisiana Tech, just because of the rivalry there, at Southern Miss,
Yep.
and then at Louisiana Monroe. So they don't have to leave the state of Louisiana. But gosh, 1, 2, 3 times, excuse me, 4 times. I forgot about USC. So they only have
Yeah.
to leave the state of Louisiana
Just 4
times this
times.
season. So take that for whatever it is. I actually have an under on them, 7.5. I think they
Okay.
hit 6 or 7. That's just me.
Yeah.
Um, but there is a path just because of the
Right.
lack of them, traveling. And when they do travel, um, at Charlotte, at Georgia State, at Southern Miss,
Yep.
it's not like the USC game is the only game they've got significant travel for. So it's a pretty sweet schedule if you're if you're
And
Louisiana. So
I know we touched on it last week. I don't know if you talked about them or not. Are you high or low on the Charlotte team in American Athletic? Hammer.
terrible,
Terrible. Okay, just one.
terrible, terrible.
Terrible.
Yeah, no, god awful. Yeah,
So that should be a pretty easy automatic win for Louisiana.
I think so. I don't think that'll be much of a challenge.
Yeah.
Unless somebody significant is out, and even then, I don't think Charlotte's got enough
Fine.
to cause them any scares.
Okay.
So, all right. So who do you guys got winning the Sun Belt?
Go ahead, Joshy boy.
Got my Marshall Thunder and Herd at plus 750. Go ahead, Drew.
I got Troy winning the West. I got Marshall winning the East. And I have Troy as the Sun Belt champions.
Yeah, Hammer, I got Marshall winning the East and Troy winning the West. Marshall beating Troy in the Sun Belt Conference title game.
Okay. All right. Well, I'm on Troy. We all think Troy's getting there, and I think that's the right play. I think James Madison will win the East. I think James Madison will win the conference championship game.
Confidence in Sun Belt Billy.
But fuck it, I'm betting Troy to win, to go over and to win it. Damn it! So I just think it's going to be. I don't know, man. I'm just not. I'm not sold on him.
Yeah.
At
Yeah.
all.
Me either.
And
I think it might take a couple. I think James Madison's probably a year away from being back to like dominating the league. Like Bob Chesney was a great coach. He had a lot of talent there too. Their quarterback, ton of really good players. Like most of those guys are gone, and Bob Chesney's gone, and it's Billy Napier now, who's coming off not having a lot of success as a coach. So I just think James Madison maybe needs like a little rebuilding year to get back. I like Marshall's quarterback a lot, as we alluded to a lot. I think quarterbacks make a difference, but I think Troy gets him in the title game.
yeah, I'm with you. I'm a big fan of Troy. They're they're not too far. Well, I say not too far. They're about 3.5 hours down the road from me.
Yeah.
And I had a family friend that had a son that went there and played quarterback for them several years ago. So kind of got a little bit of a soft spot there for him. Unless we play them, then I hope we beat the shit out of them. But
Yeah.
Yeah.
otherwise, it's you know, I have a connection to that school, so
I also promise there's no bias involved, but their coach did play at Kentucky.
I mean, I don't want to see that as bias. So, Drew, you don't.
I didn't want to say
I
something.
meant to
Oh,
tell
go
you
ahead.
this the other day. I've been actually meaning to tell you this for a while. You need to start a podcast, a show, and call it Unbiased. And
With my last name?
with your last name spelling and biased. Yeah, I just think
Yes.
that would be the absolute best.
Hey, maybe coming soon on the Heavy Pour Sports channel.
Yeah,
For sure.
Unbiased. That's and spell it with your last name, and I'll only take like 10% of your, you know.
I'll give you 15, maybe.
Man, you're all heart, good dude.
Well, hey, it might come from the name. So,
Exactly.
you
That's
know,
what I'm
maybe the
thinking
royalties need to be
For sure.
bumped. It would be
Yeah.
built off of you.
Yeah. So little little creative, input and royalties there for me. So all right, so let's move on over to the MAC. And
Hey, can I touch on James Madison before we move on?
yeah,
Yeah, guys, I'm really not high on James Madison this year. After losing Chesney and after losing Alonzo Barnett at quarterback, they're bringing in a lot of transfers, and I just don't know if it's going to work out for Billy Napier in year two. But I just don't see it this year, first year with Billy Napier and company.
yeah, I'm still betting them over 8.5 because I think they can. I think they've got 9, maybe 10 wins on that schedule, depending on how the Old Dominion game goes. But this, I mean, this conference is kind of got some weak teams in it at the bottom half, especially.
Yeah,
So I don't see a whole lot of teams outside
fair.
of those 3 or 4 being a threat. So I think they can get over that win total. But I do agree. I don't think the dominance we've seen from James Madison over the past with Chesney and then, of course, Signetti, that's not going to happen. May not ever happen with Sunbelt Billy.
Yeah,
But
Yeah.
I think it will take him a little bit of time to get them back to, a threat for the CFP and being dominant in that conference because there's just Marshall's on the rise.
Agreed.
Troy's always good. And then Old Dominion, of course, they kind of really popped on the radar last year. So, all right,
Yeah.
we'll move on to the MAC, and this is actually one of my favorite small school conferences. Group of 5, what a JUCO, whatever, depending on the mood I'm in, what I call them, because they play games in the midweek. They play Tuesday and Wednesday games, and sometimes Thursday games. So after 2 or 3 weeks in the end of football season, we've got football literally every day. With Monday Night Football, MAC Tuesday, Wednesday. We got college football Thursday. We've been having some Friday games, which is phenomenal too. You got NFL Thursday, all day Saturday, all day Sunday, and then you roll right back into Monday again. In fact, last year, I think at some point, end of September, 1st of October, all the way through the week of Thanksgiving, we had football every day. God bless you, Mid-America Conference.
Yeah. The Maction.
Maction, baby. If you had a shitty betting weekend, don't lose hope. There's Maction on Tuesdays and Wednesdays you can get right. And
Hey, why wait? Why wait another week?
Why wait
Hell
another
yeah.
week to lose money when you can do it in the middle of the week?
For sure.
Yeah.
So a little different look though to the MAC this year, right? Because we lose Northern Illinois, they go to the Mountain Worst. The transfer portal absolutely sucked the life out of this conference, but I think it's going to be probably one of the most contested conferences out there because nobody just is head and shoulders above. And outside of a handful of teams, you've got, a lot of teams can probably win this thing. They also picked up Sacramento State, And like I said in the green room before we went live, I said, I mean, nothing screams Middle America like Sacramento, California, right?
Yeah,
So I think it's going to be fun. It's always fun.
same.
I love watching the MAC games through the midweek, and then you add in you add in a new team, and they have the coolest uniforms too with the green and gold. I think it's really neat. So I'm
For
looking
sure.
forward to it. Just real quick, the highest projected win total on the board. It's a three-way tie between Western Michigan, Miami of Ohio, and Toledo. At least that's what I'm showing on my book. Y'all might have something different.
I think that's right.
They're all at 7.5,
Yeah,
and
that's what I
then
see on my board.
you got Ohio and Central Michigan both right on their heels, and I think Ohio could be one of those teams that's in the mix because they typically are anyway. They kind of got to tick down because of some of the transfer portal losses, but I still think you can't just write them off. But I think Western, Miami, Ohio, Toledo, and Ohio are probably the winner's probably going to come out of that group unless something crazy happens at like Central Michigan, maybe Buffalo, Eastern Michigan. They're kind of that next step, but we'll talk about it a little bit here. The lowest projections are Akron and UMass. UMass at 2.5. I think Akron. No, they have bumped. Why? Why are they at 4.5? Is that right?
There's no way.
Sorry, got to switch to the Mac. Yeah, it's 3.5. That's what I thought. UMass at 2.5, and then Akron and Ball State, I think, are at 3.5. Well, DraftKings has got them at 2.5. That's at minus 290. No, that ain't right. That should be 3.5. DraftKings smoking a little something over here. So anyway, doesn't matter. They're not going to win anything anyway. I think Sacramento State's kind of the wild card in this because we don't really know what that's going to look like, especially with travel, right? Because a little bit of travel there. I mean, it's not like Miami of Florida playing Oregon State or Washington State or anything,
Yeah,
or Rutgers having to go to USC. Stupid. But they're not used to doing that kind of travel schedule, so we'll see how that goes. And the winner of this conference, crazy as it may sound, might make a sneaky playoff push.
Mm-hmm.
Never know. So,
think
who do
so.
you guys like? Who do you guys like or dislike in the MAC? Drew, let's start with you. Give me a team that you are high on, or you think they ain't no damn way.
I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go. No, I think they're gonna regress a little bit in Toledo. Jason Kendall was the coach there for nearly a decade. He won some conference championships. He built a great program. Had really a lot of talent as well. Obviously, left this past year for UConn. Last year, Kentucky played him to start the year, and a lot of people were picking them to beat Kentucky in the preseason, I'm sorry, in the season opener. And some people had them projected to make the college football playoff. Last year, they kind of disappointed a little bit. Obviously, Coach headed out. They hired Mike Jacobs to replace him. I don't know. I just think they're too big of a wild card in this league. And the one team I'm really high on though is Western Michigan. They're the defending champs. They returned a lot offensively and a lot of their players. And I'll let Joshy Boy kind of take Western Michigan because he gave me a thumbs up. But they lost a lot defensively. But that's kind of my early takeaways before we dive into it deep. I'm really high on Western Michigan, and I wouldn't say I'm down on Toledo because still think they'll finish near the top of the conference, but I don't know, and I don't think they'll be at that third spot actually competing to win the conference, if that makes sense.
Got you. Okay. let me just talk a little bit about Toledo because I was going to bring this up, so I'm glad you sort of introduced it. Let's look at their coaching history since go all the way back to 1990. Did anybody remember who the head coach was in Toledo in 1990?
Would that be Bear Bryant?
No,
No.
but you're not far off.
Nick Saban. I don't know. I'm just guessing.
There you go.
Nick Saban went 9-2. He turned out okay, right?
Pretty good, I guess, if you want to say that.
Yeah. And then when he left, Gary Pinkel took over.
Pretty dang good coach.
Yep, did okay at Missouri.
I know that very well.
Once he left, Tom Hamstutz started his career at Toledo at 45-18 before the wheels kind of fell off the wagon. And then Tim Beckman comes in. Well, he spent his time there and turned that into a job at Illinois.
Mm-hmm.
Then Matt Campbell comes in. He had 3 9-win seasons in 4 years, which was good enough to launch him into the Iowa State and now Penn State job.
Mm-hmm.
And then Jason Candle never had a losing season, won 2 MAC titles, now the coach at UConn. So if history holds, we can expect Mike Jacobs to actually be pretty good, who actually won 2 championships with Mercer.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. He has a pretty good coaching resume coming in.
Yeah,
for sure.
And before that, he was in Division II at Notre Dame College. So, dude knows how to coach some football.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So you can't sleep on Toledo. So I actually have them going over that 7.5. I know you just said that you think they're going to regress, and that's very possible because you just never know when you're getting you're getting a new coach and your previous coach was pretty successful.
Mm-hmm.
So, but I don't know, man. I don't know that there's going to be a whole lot of transition over to Jacobs. I think things kind of stay status quo, and they always seem to find athletes.
Yeah.
So I kind of like them.
To that point, they brought in 11 players who earned all conference honors at their previous schools.
Previous schools, exactly.
The biggest thing I just worry about in these leagues is just the culture fit. Like it's in these smaller leagues, I feel like it's I feel like it's really hard to just throw a roster together of a bunch of randomness and a new coaching staff and try to win because it's just different in the mid-major level. I feel like now could it certainly happen? And I look like an idiot, saying this definitely because, like I just said, coach they hired is really good. He's really successful. They brought in 11 players who previously was on all conference selections at their respected schools. I just feel like those things at the mid-major level are a lot harder than doing it at the power conference level because it's just different athletes and the culture matters and the experience at that school matters and those kinds of things. So, I mean, I said it though. I don't think Toledo's going to fall, completely down or anything like that. I just don't know if they'll quite be in that mix of like in that final 2 to 3 week, maybe 1 week stretch of like, competing for the MAC title.
Right. I got you. Yeah. You just think they're going to regress a little bit. And it's, it would be easy to validate that. It's just simply because of coaching change, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so many players are coming and going in and out of this conference. So you don't know. I mean, everything we look at is just, at this point, best guess and maybe hope. If you're betting, it's hope.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So, I mean, you can definitely see it going either way. I'm drinking the Mike Jacobs Kool-Aid a little bit though. So, all right, Josh, what do you think? Who's a team that you either like or think, no way, they can't win that many games?
Yeah, let's talk about the MAC champions, Western Michigan, going 10-4 last season. Lance Taylor in his 4th year at Western Michigan. They return Brock Lowry at quarterback. He threw for 1,800 yards last year, 9 touchdowns, 3 interceptions, 63.4 completion rate, and they're bringing back one of the best offensive players in the MAC, Jalen Buckley. He had 1,000 yards rushing. He had 179 attempts, 9 touchdowns. Dude's just an offensive machine. Schedule wise for Western Michigan, their only toughest games, two out of conference, were at Michigan that first game, and they play Boise State at home the fourth game. So, Hammer, let me throw a scenario at you. Western Michigan goes to Michigan. You're going to say no shot in hell, but let's say they somehow win at the big house. They are in the driver's seat for the playoffs. Probably not going to happen, but let's say they stun Michigan. Crazier things have happened before. App State went into the big house and beat Michigan. But I just don't see it happening. But if they did beat Michigan, they'd definitely be in the driver's seat. Max schedule. Oh, go ahead. Go
I
ahead.
was going to say, outside of that game, their toughest game on the schedule is Toledo. It's at
Toledo. Yeah.
They don't play Ohio. They don't play. Oh, they do. I'm sorry. I said they don't. We're going to dodge.
Yeah.
They do not. They actually do play Miami, but they get
Miami of Ohio at home last game.
They get them at home. So,
yeah. So their only two toughest.
9-3, 10-2, and be in the conversation for a playoff berth.
For sure. Their only two toughest games in conference are at Toledo and Miami of Ohio. I just don't see them losing to Eastern Michigan. You could say things get weird and maybe they lose at Akron or at Central Michigan because crazier things have happened before in the MAC. Things get weird.
I will guarantee you they are not losing at Akron.
Yeah. But I definitely like them to go over that 7.5 win total and them to win the MAC at plus 400 odds.
Okay. All right. Well, fair enough. I think Western's the easy play here because, one, they're the defending champs, right? And Taylor's kind of built this thing up from when he was winning 4 or 5 games a season to, winning the MAC championship and having 10-win seasons. Only the second one they've ever had. So there's definitely things I like a lot about it. I think best case scenario is they win the MAC title and maybe are in that conversation for a berth in the playoff. Or they could win 6 games and not even go to a bowl. I mean, it's pretty broad what could happen. Their schedule's very favorable. As much as I would love to see them go into Ann Arbor and win, I can't get on board with that.
I was just saying a pop dream scenario.
Oh, no,
yeah.
I totally get it, man. I totally get it. But this team can score in bunches. Last year, in the second quarter, they outscored their opponents 131-47. And they're very aggressive, especially on the front with their defense. The offensive line has been extremely well coached throughout, and they only gave up 22 sacks the entire season last year. Sorry, scrolling.
You're good.
You mentioned Jalen Buckley.
Yep.
The fact that he did not leave Kalamazoo is a massive win for them because I think he probably could have had he tested the waters. So, and they've also got some pretty good depth behind him. So it's not like he's the end all be all. I mentioned the offensive line. They've got one of the best offensive lines, and I'll go on and say it's probably the best offensive line in the group of 6. They got 3 starters back, and they played a lot of football. They didn't lose anybody major in the portal, and they brought in Brandon Smith from Illinois State. I know Illinois State, but this kid's good. Going to play left tackle. So, and I think Brock Lowry is going to sling it more this year. I don't think they're going to rely heavily on the running game as much as they did last year, because he had almost a 65% completion rate, and only threw 3 picks. He was also second on the team in rushing at 963. So they're going to have to throw the ball, I think, a little more. So I don't know that it'll be, like I said, as run heavy, even with this offensive line. But when they averaged, 6 or more yards per pass, they went 8-0. When they didn't, they went 2-4. So if they can find some consistency in their passing game, this team will be in the college football playoff. Now they'll get the hell beat out of them once they get there. But I honestly think that they can make the CFP just based on the talent they have coming back. Excuse me. And the continuity they've got at their skill positions, and that offensive line is really, really good. So I think at minimum they're winning 9. They could possibly win 10, and we could see a directional school in the college football playoff this year.
Do you think if they go 11-1, they're in the playoffs? If they win the match,
no question. They win the conference, and the only game on their schedule they lose is at Michigan.
At Michigan,
they're going, and that's not crazy talk.
Right. Think it's possible?
It's not likely, but it's possible.
Right.
Especially because
the weather
I was going to say
in these MAC games, man, they have such an impact.
Yeah.
And Drew, you're from, sort of
MAC land. Yeah.
Yeah. So, and I've said it many times, like, people laugh about playing Missouri. I'm like, dude, let me tell you something. You go to, Columbia, Missouri, mid-November, playing at night when it's 12 degrees and a 30-mile-an-hour wind and it's spitting snow.
Mm-hmm.
It's a tough place to play.
It is.
So can't discount that weather. I have seen MAC games where it's snowing so hard that you can't see the field. The lines on the field is completely white. And the team that's in the away jersey, you can't see them. Like the
AFC Championship game last year.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. It looks like a January game in Cleveland or something. And we're talking like mid-November. It's doing that stuff. So the weather always has an impact on some of these games, and plus, man, there's not a lot of win projection between like the 10th team and the number 1 team. So you're talking a 3-game spread between about 10 or 11 teams. So it's pretty much wide open. I just think Western is the head and shoulders above everybody else. Now, said all that, I am going to bet Toledo to win the conference just because of odds. But I think Western I think they're the team to beat in the MAC. So
Drew, you were going to say something about Western Michigan?
Oh, I was going to say about I think the group of 5 for a lot of or I guess group of 6 as Hammer refers to it. Like you look at who made it last year, James Madison. Well, their coach is gone and their team was gutted. Tulane, their coach is gone, their team was gutted. Boise State last year wasn't the Boise State that it was the year before with Ashton Genty. So, yeah, there's some teams that are up at the top, but if some of these teams play remarkably well and they get some big wins and they blow some teams out and they do those things, then they certainly have a chance. And if I'm not mistaken, I believe the group of 5 or group of 6 winner now just has to make it. Or they don't have to win their conference championship to get in. I believe it's just the highest ranked group of 6 team that gets in the playoff, or I could be wrong. So I think that's kind of an important thing to notice is a lot of the top group of 6 teams that we've seen in years past, a lot of those coaches are gone. They took bigger and better jobs, and a lot of their rosters are completely shuttered. So it's really kind of wide open. And a team like Western Michigan with some preseason expectations, if everything goes as well as they hope it does, then I don't see why they can't at least be in the conversation and make the playoff.
Well, if you think they can do it, they are plus
What's our odds?
5,000 to make the playoff. Just to make the playoff.
Wow. So
Plus
$5 wouldn't pay out bad, would it?
Shoot, no. Get all crazy like put $10 on it.
Yeah,
That's 500 smackers. And to give you
for
some
sure.
perspective, UCLA is plus 3,000.
Wow.
And they got 2
Yeah,
shots.
but they're
of winning
quarterbacks.
Slim and none.
Yeah. Even though they got Chesney.
So I don't hate it. And I'm trying to see who they have. Well, they've got some teams up there. They've got Memphis up there at plus 1,000. They've got Navy up there at plus 750. Boise at plus 450.
Hey, we touched on how good Memphis might be
Yeah.
Yeah.
last week.
Yeah. Another group of 16, Louisville, they're at plus 550.
Through that.
Where's UTSA at, Hammer?
Sorry, I just clicked off of it. Let me click back on it. They're going to be
You're good.
They're going to be pretty well down that board, I would think. Wait a minute. That's national championship. I'm like, whoa, these odds.
Yeah.
Don't even want to know what that was.
Yeah.
Let's continue that on there.
Let's
I'm just
see.
playing.
They're going to be. I must have missed them.
Probably way down there. Near Western Michigan range.
Yeah. Apparently they're farther down than that. I can't. Oh shoot! They're only plus 1,000 to make the playoff.
Oh, wow.
That's why. I
Who's
couldn't find
that?
UTSA.
San Antonio.
Oh,
Memphis, UTSA, UNLV, Army, Arizona are all plus 1,000. They are better odds than, South Florida.
well, let's keep it real too. The
NC
American is a lot better conference than the MAC, so
Oh,
Yeah, for sure.
certainly.
a lot of those teams have a little bit of a advantage to make it. Like it would
Yeah.
surprise me like a lot if a MAC team made the playoff.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
I mean, it wouldn't. No, it wouldn't be the worst thing that ever happened.
No.
And Navy plus 750. I bet that. I'll go ahead and admit. I think they've got a path to get there. Other than the loss of Notre Dame, I think they'll probably be favored in every game.
Mhm.
So, all right. So, Mac, Drew, who's your champion?
Yeah, we didn't talk about them, but they're my champion. I'm a Chuck Martin believer. He's been there since 2013. They've made the conference championship 3 years in a row. They've won one in 2023. They lost a lot last year, but I believe in Chuck Martin. I'm picking the Miami of Ohio
Not a bad play.
over Western Michigan.
Yep.
It's a good pick.
Yep. Yeah, I think it's probably a 3-horse race. So that's one of the 3.
Mm-hmm.
So you're going with
The Red Hawks.
Miami. Okay. Josh, you sticking with Western?
Yeah, I'm going Western Michigan over Miami of Ohio.
Okay. All right.
Me and Joshy Boy right now, we get the same 2 teams in the conference championships, and we're going the opposite way. So
Opposite ways.
Yeah.
I'm not sure what the hell's going on.
Yeah. That's like I say, like in the weekly gambling show, whenever I'm on one team and Josh is on the other, I'm like, well, see, we give you guaranteed winners on this show, damn it. So
Yeah,
because one of
Just
us is going to be
50-50.
right.
one of us is going to be right.
Yeah. It's probably Western Michigan. And I'm probably setting $25 on fire. I kind of believe in this Toledo team. So I'm going Toledo. Even though Western's probably going to win it. My bet is Toledo. Just 4-1. I like it. And Western at plus 300, though. I got to bet that. Seriously, bet that because that's probably going to happen, and I'm definitely going to bet them to make the CFP. That's
Yeah.
that's too good. But also, we didn't talk about them. But I also like Buffalo going over their win total of 5.5. Just to throw that out there as well. All right. So, right on time, we hit the Sun Belt and the MAC. So that will bring us to the Big Ten. Josh?
The Conference of Dominance.
Yes.
They own us. They're owning college football right now.
Yeah.
We gotta
Unfortunately,
give the Devils their dues. So
I'm not
we
wearing
definitely
a hat.
do.
If I was, I would tip it.
Yeah.
Yep, they have figured out the best way to construct a roster. Taking turns doing it right now. And a lot of people like the champ to come out of there again this year.
Yep.
So
To win the Big Ten or win the whole thing?
I'll win the whole thing.
Wow.
A lot of people liking them. Somebody out of there to win it again.
I was gonna say, Josh, boy, somebody from the Big Ten's gonna win the Big Ten.
Yeah. True.
I'll make that bet.
Yeah.
At least I think so. I don't think the sport's gotten that
For
crazy.
sure.
Yeah,
I don't think
we've
yeah.
gotten that crazy yet with
Yeah.
everything going on. So
No, I was asking you, do you think to repeat as Big Ten champs is what I meant? Hammer.
Okay. Yeah, I got you.
Yeah.
I don't think we get a repeat champion, but I think we get a repeat conference winning the championship.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, even though I did predict Georgia over Notre Dame on a show a couple weeks ago, I think I've changed my mind. We'll see. We'll get into it. So let's start.
All right.
We go alphabetically to avoid any bias. No offense, Drew. Amazingly, Illinois is the first team in alphabetical order in the Big Ten. That's pretty wild.
Crazy.
They are sitting at a line of, is it still 7.5? Give me a second.
Yeah. 7.5 on my end.
Okay, let me switch over because I was on national championship. DraftKings has them at 6.5, but it's at minus $1.75. So that's I like my line of 7.5 better. Dang it, too many tabs open. Here we go. All right, so schedule wise, they've got their toughest games are going to be at Ohio State. They host Oregon. I'm going to throw this out there as a 50-50 game, even though I hope like everything they win. I think going to UCLA is going to be a little tough.
Mm-hmm.
And then they do play at Northwestern, who I'm not big on, but weird
stadium.
stuff happens at Northwestern.
New stadium.
Yes.
They had two of their best seasons in program history with Luke Altmaier at quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, he's gone. But
Caden Hauser comes in.
Yeah, they get Caden Hauser. And I kind of like this schedule, especially the schedule early. So I'm taking a shot at them at over 7.5. I got it at plus 138. So not a bad little payout there. I think with the teams on their schedule, UAB, Duke, Southern Illinois, Purdue, they play at Michigan State, they play at Maryland, Nebraska, nobody's scared of them, and Iowa, be a rock fight. I think Ohio State, Oregon definitely will be losses. I think they're going to lose either UCLA or at Northwestern. I think they lose one of those two for sure. But I think they can get there. I think they can win 8. What do you guys think about Illinois?
Yeah, I like them winning 7 or 8 games this year. I mean, you touched on it, man. Altmaier was such a good quarterback. He improved that program so much. Just the way he played and the culture and the identity that team had. Illinois was – I mean, they were competitive in the Big Ten the last 2 years. Brett Bielema's done a great job. I don't know. This team just has a lot of question marks for me to like view them as like maybe the sleeper to be like a top 4, top 5 team in the league. I think they'll be somewhere around the middle. But I could see 7 to 8 games just based off of the quarterback they brought in and Caton Hauser and then the schedule as well. I think it can set up for them to have a decent season, even if they're not like that amazing of a football team.
Yeah, I think the schedule sets up pretty nicely for them. That's one of the lead reasons that I think they can get over this number. So, Josh, what are your thoughts on Illinois?
Yeah, actually, Hammer, I'm with you. I took them over 7.5 to go over that 7.5 win total. I like what they did bringing in Caden Hauser from ECU, but I don't know. They bring in, besides Hauser, they bring in 4 transfers on the offensive side of the ball. They bring back their tight end, right tackle, right guard, wide receiver, running back. A lot of question marks on the defense side of the ball. They bring in 3 guys from the transfer portal. The schedule sets up nice, like you guys were saying. They should go undefeated in non-con, beating UAB, Duke, Southern Illinois. I have the automatic losses at Ohio State and Oregon at home. And I do agree with you, Hammer. I think that UCLA game is going to be tricky. Same with going to Northwestern in that new stadium. You never know what's going to happen. But other than that, I see them winning the rest of their Big Ten games.
Yeah, I've got them at 8-4 based on that schedule, and like anything else, I mean, injuries probably going to dictate what this team does because even though they do have some good talent, I don't think they've got a lot of depth.
Mm-hmm.
So if they can keep all their key pieces healthy, I think they can. I won't say easily, but I think they've got a really good shot at getting at least to 8. And even if they stub their toe a little bit towards the end of the season, I still think that they can get enough wins early to get there. So I do like them over. All right, next on the list is our reigning defending, the Indiana Hoosiers. Their number is set at 10.5. Josh, tell us about Indiana and why you think they'll go either over or under that number.
Yeah, so Indiana, great season last year, going 16-0. Kurt Signetti in his second year, bringing that team back from the dead. Like, man, what a hell of a season by them last year. They bring back Charlie Becker, stud wide receiver. The additions I like they made in the transfer portal on the offensive side of the ball, bringing in Nick Marsh from Michigan State, wide receiver, Turbo Richard, running back from Boston College, Josh Hoover from TCU. I'm going to make a bold prediction. I think Josh Hoover is going to have a better season than Fernando Mendoza because I think Signetti is going to limit his turnover rate. I think he's going to take care of the ball this season versus the last few seasons at TCU. Schedule-wise, guys, they're going to start out 6-0. North Texas, Howard, Western Kentucky, Northwestern, at Rutgers, at Nebraska. When's the last time Nebraska beat a top 25 team? I'll wait. And the critical 2-game stretch, Ohio State and at Michigan, if they can split one of those, then I see this team going 11-1 at least this season.
Okay, so that would put you over 10.5 then. Correct?
I believe, yeah, that's what he's
Okay.
saying.
Yeah, Hammer.
Okay, yeah, you can.
Sorry, I was muted.
Yeah. All right, cool.
Apologies.
Yeah, because I'm not looking at you guys. Not that I think you're ugly or anything. It's just I got a lot of info
I got you.
here I'm trying to process, and Lord knows I need all the help
Right.
I can get with that. So, all right, cool. So you got them going over 10.5, winning 11 games.
Yep.
Okay, Drew. How about the Hosers?
I'm going to go 10-2 this year. I like Josh Hoover. As Joshua said, I think he will have a really good year. But I think it could be one of those situations in big time games. You don't ever just lose the turnover factor. I think turnovers could be an issue in the big time games against the really good defenses, versus Michigan, versus Ohio State. So, but I think Indiana is going to be great. Cignetti's obviously at the top of the sport. I mean, it's not even worth diving into. All the respect to Indiana, they're a hell of a team. I think they'll go 10-2, make the playoffs, or be right there. And hell, who knows? Maybe they'll be right in the mix to win a national championship again next year.
Okay, so you
And they're
10 and
adding
2?
some fifth-year guys back. So
Yeah. Thanks for that, Judge.
yeah,
So yeah, apparently you can add NFL players back to your roster if you're certain schools. The Universidad de Norte Mexico is bringing a guy back from that was in NFL training camp. So I'm sure he'll pay back all the money and
you can't
expenses
play though if you fly out to a pre-draft workout and stuff though.
if you
And already pay your $427 back.
if you announce that you're leaving, enter the draft, decide you don't want to go in the draft to go back to college, pay the ticket back, fire the agent. Now that shit won't fly.
No.
But if you want to go to two, not just one, two, if you want to go to two NFL mini camps and then come back and play football, then that's okay.
Yeah, that's perfectly allowed.
Yeah.
So anyway, not that I'm bitter about it or anything. I'm just saying, just throwing it out there.
And you don't even like that team or anything.
No, you get that out of you. So, all right, I digress. My apologies, everybody. So, 10-2 is your prediction for Indiana?
Yeah.
That would be under 10.5 if my math's serving. So, what two games are you thinking they lose?
Let me pull up the schedule now. Hold on. I didn't have it up.
Yeah, I know that Howard game is going to be dicey.
Yeah, sneaky upset there.
Could be.
Was that the game where they canceled with one of the Power 5 schools, if memory serves me right?
Yes, I believe it was.
Virginia, yeah.
Because, God forbid, we play anybody tough.
I think there even could be a case Indiana might go 9-3, but I will pick them going 10-2.
Okay.
9-3.
Who's your two losses?
My two losses will be Ohio State at home and will be at Michigan, but I think the sneaky one could be at Washington in Week 11.
I could see that.
And we'll get into Washington in a bit, but
We will.
yeah.
Yep.
I think that's a sneaky one there. And I know we just mentioned it, and Joshy Boy made a little joke at it, but that at Nebraska game is not going to be easy either.
Right.
And it's a loud place. I think Nebraska can be a decent team this year. Let's just say Nebraska gets off to a good start. That place gets rocking like we know it can because it's always sold out.
Well,
I'll
say
this.
Because it's do or die for Matt Rule this year.
When you have a quarterback with turnover issues like Josh Hoover has had, that can always come up in big-time games and big moments and big crowds, big opportunities. And so that worries me. He's ultra-talented. Hell, he's probably more talented than Mendoza is. But Mendoza was an elite level, just football player, decision maker,
high IQ,
high IQ, yeah, great leader. So like we got to see it from Josh Hoover first. So I'm gonna go 10-2, but there's a real world where like they could go 8-4.
All right, I had them going 10-2, possibly 9-3.
Yeah.
I think they lose to Ohio State. I'm predicting a loss at Washington. That was my one. That's why I was curious who you're
Sorry, I took the.
I love Josh Hoover at TCU for two reasons. One, I think the kid's super tough, and I like his game, and I made a lot of money betting his props last year, both passing yards and interceptions. We kind of talked about it a little bit. in the NFL world, and I think it's gonna bleed over here for me as well. I think Josh Hoover is who he is, and that's not to say that Signetti's not a great coach, that he won't get some elevated coaching there at Indiana. But I think just like with Sam Darnold, I think it's in there. And when you get put in certain situations, or
Yeah.
if you're in a tough situation where a mental lapse, a mental breakdown can happen, and you sort of revert back to that because that's who you are, can be very untimely. I think that trip to Washington, I think Washington is a dark horse to win this conference, and we'll get into them later, but I'll say that because I can't tell you that I think they lose at Washington and not give you a little bit of reasons why. If they can, if they have some things go right for them, Washington, they could legit be a threat this year. I agree. I think they win everything except Ohio State. I think they lose at Washington. And I think that Michigan game is more of a coin flip than what a lot of people want to admit.
Mm-hmm.
I think we're hanging a lot of what they did last year. The schedule's a little tougher this year. I think getting to 11 is going to be really tough. And I see a world where they go 9-3. I'm not quite as deep on 8-4, but I think 2 losses is expected, and a third is not out of the question. And then you get into, will they make the playoff? Now, I'm going to have a hard time believing that this committee is going to keep Indiana out of the playoff.
At 9-3.
Alabama did it.
Yeah.
And they weren't defending champs. So,
No. They were 10-3. They were 10-2 in the regular season.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, 10-3.
I'm sorry.
Lost to Georgia.
I'm
yeah.
sorry. That's right.
Hey, I'm here to
Thank you, Drew.
correct issues.
Yeah, I appreciate that. We need quality control on this show for sure.
Yeah.
But I'm taking them under 10.5.
I got them going over.
All right.
And I hammered the 10.5.
Well, I hope, for your bet's sake, I hope you're right.
Thank you.
Iowa, their line is 7.5. Kirk Ferentz has been there, it seems like, since the 1920s. And they finished 8 or more wins 8 times in the last 10 years. They are having to replace majority of their offensive line, but they've got a pretty generous schedule. So 7.5.
Tough 4-game stretch in the schedule.
Yeah, they've got a relatively manageable schedule outside of 4 games. So, Drew, how do you feel about Iowa?
Yeah, I mean, if they could just have an offense and a quarterback, like, it's crazy. Like, they've been one of the best defensive teams in the country. Like, it seems like forever. They're always competitive. You know, they just can't figure out the offense. They can't figure out the quarterback room. I know they got a quarterback competition this year. What was their line at? 7.5?
7.5.
Yeah, 7.5.
I'm going to take the over on it.
Okay.
Kirk Ferentz, man, like one of the most consistent coaches. They always win. They're always like, you look up and you're like, oh, Iowa's 3rd or 4th in the Big Ten again, or even playing for the Big Ten championship, which I know that was when the divisions were going on. But I believe in them to win about 8 games based off looking at their schedule. They got some tough, obviously they play at Michigan and then Ohio State the week after at home.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, they got a stretch of 3 in a row that's brutal. But outside of that, I mean, I think they'll smack Iowa State this year.
Yes.
Yeah, for sure.
Then, like, after that Washington game, I mean, they're all kind of right there for them to win. So, yeah, I'm gonna go over 7.5. I think they'll win 8 to 9 games.
Okay. All right. Josh, what do you think?
Yeah, Iowa, after losing a lot of players after this past season, I'm not as high on Iowa as Drew is. They bring in Jeremy Hecklitz. I can't even spell his last name, quarterback for Iowa, yeah. They bring back Kamari Moulton. They bring in three transfers on the offensive side of the ball. They bring back most of everybody on the defensive side of the ball besides three players from the transfer portal. I just think it's an under this year with Iowa, under 7.5, because I see them winning their first three games, and I think there's a really good shot that they lose four straight games at Michigan, Ohio State, at home, which they could beat Ohio State, but I don't see them winning that. I got them losing at Washington, then they got the bye week, then I got them losing at Minnesota, then that gets you to four losses. Then the other loss I see on the schedule is at Illinois. So I got them going under 7.5, Hammer.
So you got them at 7 then?
Yeah, 7-5.
I'm trying to do the math as you went through that. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, just real quick, I agree. If you like defensive struggles, this is your team because they are a struggle to watch sometimes. They did show a little bit of life on offense last year. They finally got a quarterback that could throw a forward pass. But it's still going to be the same old Kirk Ferentz, grind it out, play good defense. Punter's going to be the MVP of probably 7 games they play in this season.
Mm-hmm.
But outside of
Not sure what happened to Hammer. I'm sure he'll be back.
Oh, no. Yeah, Hammer, no rush, Hammer, whenever you get back. Yeah, so let's talk about Maryland. Drew, what do you think about Maryland this season
Yeah, that's what I was gonna find the next
before
team.
Hammer gets back?
Yeah. I'm not as high on Maryland. I think they're at a disadvantage when it comes to the Big Ten and playing with the rest of the teams in the league. Just, at a talent disadvantage, kind of like what we think of in the SEC of like on most years, like Kentucky or Vanderbilt, some of those programs. So I don't see a lot of positive for Maryland this year. I don't even know what their win total's at. I'm guessing it's probably not very high. Yeah, I'm not very confident in Maryland's football team this year.
Yeah, the only thing about Maryland that I like roster-wise, I like their quarterback, Malik Washington. He's a very good playmaker, and I'm excited to watch him this season. I will say this about Maryland. I think it is a do-or-die year for Mike Locksley, 8th year at the helm. I just think they at least definitely got to go over their win total for him to stay another year at Maryland.
Definitely. And they brought back a lot of guys. Like experience is a big part of them. So hopefully that can help. Did you get their win total by chance?
Yeah, 5.5.
5.5. Let me pull up the schedule. Let me see.
All right.
Here. 5.5. They got a non-conference game versus Virginia Tech. That'll be an interesting game.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't see them winning 5.5. I'm taking the under with that.
Yeah, I'm definitely taking the under on that as well.
Yeah.
Trying to see if Hammer's coming back in. I just texted him.
He just liked one of my tweets, so I'm not sure.
Oh.
Yeah. Let's. All right, so we're not very high on Maryland. Let's go to Michigan now. Obviously, very proud program. Interesting coaching situation. Sharon Moore was fired in unique circumstances. They went out and hired who I think is one of the best coaches in college football. I shouldn't say best coaches, but I think he is. I think one of the most consistent coaches, one of the most decorated coaches in college football for a really long time. And Coach Kyle Whittingham, was at Utah for a long, long time, won a lot of games, had a lot of really good players. I love the hire from Michigan. I thought, they had an interesting coaching search. It went on for like a long time, it felt like. But I look forward into Michigan. So I'll let you have the floor, and then I'll take over for you. What's your thoughts on Michigan?
Yeah, I think it's going to be a very critical year for Michigan this year. Bryce Underwood, we'll see what he can do in the second year. I think they got a new offensive coordinator coming in, right?
Yes.
Yeah, I think the new offensive coordinator is Hammersback. Good.
Here we are.
We're
Okay.
Yeah.
on the Wolverines now. We're on the Wolverines.
Yes.
We went through
You
Maryland.
want to finish off talking about Iowa?
The only thing there's two good things about Maryland: seafood and leaving. So
Yes.
All right, Josh, keep going on Michigan.
proceed.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a do or die year for Bryce Underwood, second year. I feel like he's going to have a breakout season this year at the new OC, and they bring back a lot of guys on the offensive side of the ball and the defensive side of the ball. I took their over win total. I think it was 8.5. I think. I just think their schedule is pretty well set up to win 9 or 10 games this year for Michigan.
Yeah, the biggest thing with Michigan for me is pretty simple. Like, what can Bryce Underwood do? Like, this kid was one of the biggest talked about football prospects we've seen in the last 15 years, it seemed like. Flips to Michigan last moment, gets paid a ton of money, and last year he was just not worth it. Struggled in a lot of areas. Really not impressive as a passer, but showed a lot as a runner. Really good arm strength as well. Can Kyle Whittingham – I'm not saying Bryce Young needs to compete and be a front runner for the Heisman Trophy by any means, but, like, can he just show some competent, quarterback play? I think the big game for Michigan, and I'll say when we talk about the SEC in 2 weeks as well, the big game I think for both of these programs is week 2. Who wins that game in Ann Arbor between Oklahoma and Michigan? I'll save my thoughts on Oklahoma until then, but that's a huge game for Michigan that I think can propel them, to potentially like a 6-7-0 start to the season, which would be massive, and obviously gain them, a ton of confidence moving forward. I don't have their win total. Can one of you guys share that?
8.5.
Yeah, 8.5.
I'm taking the under. I think they're going to win about 8 games.
Under. What do you think about the Wolverines, Hammer?
Well, I think they made a good hire in Kyle Whittingham for sure. But, he's been at Utah for 20 years or something ridiculous.
Yeah.
So I think he kind of got.
And then retired, and then they hired him. The whole thing was weird.
Yeah, everything about it was weird. But I think it's going to be tough for him to. This schedule's not easy. And that's something that they're not used to. So that's the first thing for me. They didn't have to play Indiana, Oregon, or Penn State last year.
And now they do.
They got all 3 of them.
Yeah.
Plus, they go to the Big Porta-John this year. That school down south. And then they drew a really short straw, in my opinion, of having to play Oklahoma. That's a brutal path to win 9 games.
Yeah.
I don't think they make it. I think that Indiana game might be a little bit more of a toss-up. I think that's where Indiana could stub their toe, possibly.
Yeah.
But if I'm betting August the 7th, I'm picking Michigan to lose that game. So my losses would be Oklahoma. I think Oklahoma gets them. I think they lose to Indiana, and they will definitely lose on the road in Eugene and in the cesspool in Columbus. So I've got them
In-
8-4 as well.
In Kakayu.
Yep. All right. Anything else on Michigan, Josh? I'm sorry, I was late to the party here.
I'm good.
Okay.
I
All
think
right.
the biggest thing with Michigan is like just as a program in general, though. I'm really high on the future of their program for the next couple
sure.
years. I don't know how Whittingham,
Yeah.
how long he's going to plan on being there, but I think getting rid of the entire Harbaugh, tree line and the scandals and then the girlfriend getting arrested and like Whittingham brings some stability at Michigan. I think he brings culture.
Yes.
For sure.
I just don't think it's going to happen naturally in year one, but I think Michigan moving forward for the next 3 to 5 years, as I would guess Whittingham will probably be there. I think Michigan in a year from now, we'll be talking about being back near the top of the sport.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because his coaching with the resources that they have and the rise of Indiana, Ohio State's probably gonna pecker slap them again this year, and they don't like that. So I definitely think that they're going to be back at the upper echelon of the Big Ten. It's just not going to be year one.
I agree.
100%.
For sure.
All right, so next Michigan State would be on the board. There's not much to talk about here because their win total set 3.5, and I think they can probably win 4 games on this schedule. But
I think the future's bright the next few years.
I mean, Pat Fitzgerald
With Pat
was a great
Fitzgerald.
coach. Yeah, he was a great coach at Northwestern. So I think they can get 4 because they probably. I mean, they're losing at Notre Dame. They're probably going to lose in Nebraska. They'll probably lose at Wisconsin. They're not going to be terrible this year. Illinois.
Toss up Illinois.
Good for UCLA, but I think they lose that one. Michigan will kill them. Washington and Oregon will absolutely destroy them. So Toledo, possibly. Eastern Michigan, Northwestern, Rutgers. So if they can beat Toledo, I think they can win 4 games. I'll put it that way.
Yeah.
So.
Call me crazy.
You're crazy.
I'm taking them 6-6.
You
I think they're gonna go 6-6 and make a bowl game.
Okay. I don't hate it.
Fair.
I think they go over 3.5. So
yeah, they brought in a lot of guys in the portal that are really experienced. I think he's a really good coach. I think they're going to be a lot better than what people think. They have 6 like brutal games, and then they have 6 games they can win. And I wouldn't be shocked if later in the year, if they picked off one of these better teams in the conference and pull off a big upset. So
I mean, they get Nebraska, Illinois, Washington, and Oregon. Those are all home games.
At home, yeah.
So, their toughest road game clearly is going to be in South Bend.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Playing at Michigan, of course, is not going to be any fun either. But
for sure,
Notre Dame by far is their toughest road game. But at least a few of those they get at home, and who knows? You could be right, Drew. We might be sitting here talking about a 7-5 Michigan State team going into bowl season. So,
or they'll go 2-10, and I look like an idiot.
Same, because I 3.5 seems like a laydown to me.
Yeah.
You bet they're over.
In fact, I would go exacta. I would bet at 4 wins.
At 4.
I don't see them winning. Anything can happen, but I can't see them. I can't confidently say they're going to win 4. But I think they do get the over. I think it's exactly 4 wins.
I like it, Hammer.
Okay. Minnesota. I am not a fan of anything to do with this team. Their coach, nothing.
So are you saying you think they miss a ball this year?
He's been there, 8 seasons? This is 9th year?
10th year.
10th year. All right.
Yeah.
They've only missed it. It's only happened twice since he's been there. So he's kind of like the Mike Tomlin of college football.
Yep.
and I know they get a lot of players back, but they're getting a lot of players back from a team that went 1-5 against Power 4 opponents that had a winning record. If they can beat Mississippi State,
Yeah.
I think
That's
they go
the
to
big
a bowl.
one.
I
Yeah.
think that's. We know what they're going to get their ass beat at Washington. They're going to lose to Michigan. I think
Yep.
Iowa beats them. Honestly, they'll lose at Indiana. They'll lose at Penn State.
Yeah.
So, if they can beat Mississippi State, they'll go to a bowl. That's my prediction.
That's literally exactly what I was going to say. So
I would say the Iowa and Michigan game is 50-50 since it's at home.
I don't, man. It's just.
I don't think they could beat Michigan.
I don't think.
I see them at least splitting one of those two guys.
I mean, it's possible, sure, but
Yeah.
because it's at home, I just don't think that environment's that intimidating.
Right.
So I just don't like.
But
man.
like you were saying, Hammer. Yeah, and I get it. Minnesota's offense is not great, but Iowa's offense is not great either.
Yeah, but
No,
I mean,
but I would take Iowa's defense over Minnesota's defense.
True.
Although
Fair.
Minnesota does have a great defense.
they
I'll
only
take-
beat one team last year
Yeah.
that was over 500. So I don't, and it's they were returning a lot of these guys back. So I
Yeah.
don't see a lot changing. But I will take
I'm
over 5.5. I think they get 6. I think they win that Mississippi State game, and I think they get 6.
I got over 6.5.
I ain't touching that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'll
I'm
stick with
taking
my 5.5.
the under. Their line's at 6.5.
Yes.
I'm showing them at 5.5.
I'm seeing 6.5 on DraftKings.
Oh, it's over 6.5 plus 130.
Yeah. I don't want to buy the juice.
So I don't blame you. I ain't touching it.
Yeah.
I think they get 6. If they beat Mississippi State, I think they go to a bowl. If they
Yeah.
lose to Mississippi State and beat somebody else, well, the only other games they're going to lose are probably teams that are going to be bowl or CFP. So I don't know. If they win Mississippi
Yeah.
State, I think they go easily. Okay, let's move on. Nebraska.
Nebraska.
Well, Minnie Mahomes is gone. Thank God. We don't have to see
Yes.
him every time we turn on. Not that anybody's turning on Nebraska football games very much around here, but we do see them a lot because of who they play. They're in a quarterback battle, so I'm not real sure how I feel about this team. I thought Matt Rule would do a better job than what he's been able to do. I think they've got a manageable schedule outside of obviously the Indiana, Oregon, Ohio State. I want to pick them over because it's plus money. I just don't know, man. I think their basketball team took some of the pressure off and spotlight off of their football program. I think once football season kind of kicks into gear, I think the chatter is going to start again about Matt Rule. I just don't know, man.
What's their win total?
6.5.
Damn, that was.
I don't know.
I was hoping it was 5.5.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Joshy boy.
I don't know, Hammer. My heart says under, but my brain says over.
Well, I'll say this: when I look at their schedule, I don't see why they definitely can't start the year 5-0. The
Yeah.
problem is after the first 5 games, outside of at Rutgers, would you really pick them or think that they could win? And that's the hard part. Like they would need 2 of those, I guess after the first 5 games, they would need to win 2 of those games, and I just
Yeah.
don't know if I trust them to do it.
I
Because
I've
they've
got 'em
been
right on the
taking
nose.
off the last 2 years. At the
Yeah.
midway, they're at a good record, and then they fall off and they finish 6-6 or 7-5. And I'm not sure if they're better this year than what they've been in the past.
I kind of agree, and especially with having an unsettled quarterback.
Right.
I'm not crazy about that. As far as backing them, and we just talked about Michigan State, who, that game's on the road, and I think they're probably going to be favored in that game. But I don't know that I would bet them to win it.
Yeah.
And even though Washington is at home, I think this Washington team's going to surprise some people.
Yeah.
So I can't get there. I can't get them to 7. I do not see 7 games on their schedule they're going to win. So I would have to take the under.
Guys, I will say this. If they do get to that win total at 7 wins, I think it's going to come down to that last game against Iowa.
It
Oh,
very well
certainly.
could.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very well could. And just I don't know. It depends on who wins the quarterback battle. I
Right.
kind of like Anthony Calandria, but
That's who I feel like's probably going to win it.
I think probably will.
What do you think about
Apparently-
Calandria?
Apparently, Latif is in the in the mix. They to my knowledge, and I don't have an ear to the ground on Nebraska football,
Mm-hmm.
but I have not heard them announce a starter. So I think
I don't think they
it's a
have
true
yet.
competition.
They haven't.
And I'm more familiar with Calandria, and I think he's a pretty good athlete. That if he develops his passing, I think it'd be really good. I just don't think this is a schedule to cut your teeth on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm going to take them under the 6.5.
That would be my play.
I don't see it. I don't see it with their schedule late in the year. What we've seen the last 2 years when they get late in the year. As a Kentucky fan, sorry we had to take Kenny Minchie from you. But yeah, I think they're going to win about 6 games, and I think this is probably the end for Matt Rule at Nebraska.
Yeah, I think 6 is their ceiling.
I agree, guys. I just counted their schedule. I got them going 6-6.
Yeah, I don't see more than 6, and they're going to have
Yeah.
to probably pull one of those out of their ass. To be honest, they could easily be 5-7.
Yeah.
For sure.
So, all right, we'll move on then. Northwestern, they're sitting at 5.5. Chip Kelly's going to be calling plays, and he's got a transfer quarterback in Aiden Childs, who was benched at Michigan State, by the way. So I think we've got another Wildcat team that's not going to see 5 wins this year.
Hey, what do you mean by that?
Hammer.
Although I might agree. Okay, let's keep it moving. Rando would not agree.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What he thinks.
Yeah, who cares?
Who cares what he thinks?
So 5.5.
Sorry, my comments
What's wrong with my hat, Juice?
My comments got jacked whenever I lost power there, so somebody will have to read them to me. I can't even see them.
Yeah. Juice was saying in the comments, my hat.
Let me blow it up here so old man can see it. Juice, love you too, man.
Oh, yeah, I had to correct him early.
I don't think he's saying
What?
it's your hat. I think he's saying your halt.
Yeah, he's saying.
Oh, my halt.
Like Gus
Halt.
is halt and steamy.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, he's saying my light.
Yeah, Juice is all love tonight.
Love you, Juice.
Love it. And my apologies. I did not. I didn't pull this up, and then I got reset, so I can't see them. I can only see them on the screen there. Coach Ryan, if I can read this right, Billy Napier is a fraud and should be banned from football.
You should be banned from football. I agree, Coach Ryan. Yeah.
I can't argue. There's nothing I can come up with to argue that. So
I'm upset that he's finally let go of calling plays. Like the fact that he does that after he gets. Yeah, the fact he does that after getting fired from Florida is certainly a choice. He should have done that 3 years ago.
Yeah, coaches Coaches, more coaches need to do that. So,
Hey, mine did.
unless anybody's got something just earth shattering they want to share about Northwestern,
I don't. No.
uh,
Hey,
schedule
beautiful, great
wise,
stadium. I just don't know if they're going to win a lot in it this year.
oh, it is, and
Or in the
they've
future.
got some of the coolest alt uniforms too, with
Yeah,
the purple with the gold, like Old English script or whatever it is. Those are
Yeah.
badass. I give them
yeah,
that, but their football team sucks.
yeah.
I, if this number's
I'm
right,
gonna.
their under is actually plus money. Their line's 5.5. Yeah,
5.5.
no, it's changed. I didn't bet it. I wasn't going to bet it anyway, but it was plus money at time of publishing here. It has now since moved to under 5.5 is minus 130. So nothing to see here. Indiana's going to kill them. Penn State, Michigan State, I think beats them.
Yeah.
Oregon will dismantle
Ohio State will
Iowa,
kill them.
Ohio State. And I think they even lose to Minnesota.
Yep.
Yeah.
So for me, it's a hard under.
Agreed.
There's 4 games they should win. I think that's it for me. I can't go past hell. I can't go past 4. So that's a hard under. All right,
For
so
sure.
we come to the one of the big boys here. We got Ohio Taint. Their win total sitting at 9.5.
Who is that? Who are we on?
Ohio Taint.
Oh,
The Ohio State.
Josh, what about the Buckeyes?
Yeah, so let's talk about Ohio State. So I like what they did roster wise, bringing back most of everybody on the offensive side of the ball. They bring in Chris Henry, freshman wide receiver. They bring back most of the offensive line. Jeremiah Smith is back. Brandon Ennis fills the spot for Carnell Tate at the wide receiver slot position. Julian Sands back. They bring in 6 transfers on the defense side of the ball. I'm going to make a bold prediction. I'm going to say this defense is not going to be as good as it has been in Ohio State years. Schedule wise, I got the Buckeyes going 9-3. I have them losing to Texas, Indiana, and let's see, Texas, Indiana, and I got Oregon beating them in the shoe.
I got a different one. I got him going 9-3 too, and I'll tell you why. Because they hired Arthur Smith as the play
Yeah.
caller, and if you haven't watched him call plays in Pittsburgh the last couple of years, I don't know why in the world Ryan Day signed him to be the offensive play caller, especially with an offense that they have. I have them going 9-3 as well. I have them losing at Texas. I have them losing at USC, and I have Oregon beating them. And they're going 9.
Like it.
Well,
What do you think about the Cuckeyes, Hammer?
so both of y'all are under 9.5 then.
Yep.
Correct.
Ooh. Well, let's see. I've got a list.
Okay.
They're on it. That is a list of teams. No matter what happens or who they play, I hope they lose and die in a fire. They're on the list. So it is going to pain me to say this. I think they go over. I think they win 10. And I don't think they lose to who we think they lose to. I know everybody's on Texas because it's at home.
Yep.
It's Arch.
I think. Oh, keep going.
It's this NFL in weight defensive line. I'm not sold on it. I think they go down there and win. I think Oregon is going to stun them. and I think it's possible USC gets them. At worst, though, I think they win 10. They could win 11. I think Oregon. A lot of people have it the other way around. A lot of people have them beating Oregon because it's at home and losing to Texas because it's on the road. This team is loaded, man.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know why anybody would be sleeping on them. Not that 9 or 10 wins is sleeping, but they've just got too much talent. In my opinion, the last time they lost more than 2 games in the regular season was 2011. And the coach was interim Luke Fickell. So I don't see them losing. I don't see them losing more than 2 games on this schedule. But I don't think it's going to be what. They'll do one of 2 things. They'll either go undefeated or they'll lose 2.
I said Texas, USC, and Oregon, right?
Yeah, you did.
Well, I'll tell you why. I think Texas and Oregon are both. I think they're going to be the 2 teams in the national championship. So that's a little nugget in there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean they've got. This is probably the toughest schedule that they've had in years. It's definitely going to be the toughest schedule Ryan Day's had.
For sure.
And because they've got to play 4 of the other 5 Big Ten teams with the highest win total projections.
Mm-hmm.
Because they've got Indiana, they've got Oregon, they've got USC. They've got a tough schedule. So if they navigate this schedule and get to the title game with a single loss, then they're going to be a hard out come playoff time. But I think playing at USC with Biava, who I think is a dark horse.
Coming off, I mean, they get a bye week, but coming off the on the road to Indiana game too.
Yeah.
And then you have Oregon the week after.
Yeah.
I think it could be a look ahead.
Tough full 3-game stretch.
Yeah. I think it's a West Coast trip. I think it could be a look ahead to Oregon, and Biava's good enough to beat them.
Mm-hmm.
So that's where I think they stumble. But I still think they go over 9.5.
Yeah.
So, all right. Well, that brings us to the aforementioned Oregon.
Oregon Ducks.
Drew, what's your thoughts on Dan Lanning, Dante Moore, and company?
Yeah, I mean, obviously they lost their offensive coordinator, who is now the head coach at Kentucky, so my coach, which I think is a big loss, especially when you think of what he did for Dante Moore. Obviously, Dante Moore was he was a big-time recruit coming out of high school, went to UCLA, struggled terribly. And Will Stein did a great job of breaking him out last year. And obviously, I think that's the plan for them with Raiola now being a backup there, behind Dante Moore. But to me, this Oregon team is loaded. I think they're talented is anybody in the country, maybe more talented. They were really good last year, and unfortunately, their offense got completely shredded by injuries, and they lost a ton of running backs. They lost a ton of receivers. I think this Oregon team is good enough to make the college football playoff. I think they're good enough to go undefeated. I'm kind of choosing them to go about 11-1 in the regular season, and this is my pick, or one of my picks, to make the national championship. I haven't decided yet, but it'll be between them or Texas, in my opinion. And look, a lot of people are going to question both coaches and saying they haven't done it yet, but nobody's done it yet until they finally do it. Oregon's been knocking on the door. Dan Lanning's one of the best coaches in college football. I'm picking Oregon to go 11-1, make the playoff, win the Big Ten. and make the national championship game. And I wouldn't be surprised if Dante Moore's a Heisman finalist next year as well. So I really like this Oregon team. I like Dan Lanning. It's about time Oregon finally gets over that hump and starts competing for shit. And I think this
For
is
sure.
maybe win the first national championship in their program history. So we'll see. But I think Oregon's going to be really, really, really good.
Okay. Josh, what are your thoughts on the Ducks?
Yeah, so I got Oregon at over 10.5 wins on the season at plus 110, I think. So they bring back most of everybody on the offensive side of the ball except for 2 transfers, one at the right tackle, one at the wide receiver slot position. They bring back Darkarian Moore, which I'm really high on. I think he's a pretty skilled wide receiver. They bring back Evan Stewart from injury. He was injured last year, didn't play any last season. They bring back, like you mentioned, Drew, Dante Moore. Could have gone to the Jets, but just said, fuck it, I'm not going to that shit organization. And like you were saying, he did a really good job with Will Stein last year, and I just think he's going to have another great year at Oregon this year. Defensive-wise, they have 2 transfers, one at the safety position and one at the nickelback. They bring back a ton of guys back on the defense side of the ball, guys. Defensive end. I like this guy, Mateo Ukulele. He's a hoss. And you bring back
That's
What's
DJ.
that?
That's DJ.
Yes.
That's DJ's brother. And he is a monster.
And they bring back Bear Alexander at the nose tackle position, Haas, and Amari Washington. I think their defense is going to be stacked this year. I think they're going to be top 10 this year. And I got Oregon going 11-1, losing to Ohio State. I got them cruising through the schedule. So over 10.5 wins, and I got them in the Big Ten championship game. Hammer.
Okay. I'm high on this Oregon team as well. The only thing I'm concerned about, yes, they have Dante Moore back. Yes, they brought in Baby Mahomes as basically, I guess, insurance policy.
I feel like I know where you're going with this.
They've got 8 starters back from last year's defense that was very good. And I think this is their year to make that push to get to at least the championship game, if not win the whole thing. Here's my issue. They lost both of their coordinators.
That's where I thought you were going.
Who are now head coaches at other schools.
Mm-hmm.
That's tough. That's tough to overcome. Unless you're Nick Saban. I think they can beat Ohio State. If they hadn't lost both of their coordinators, I would have picked them to win undefeated in the regular season. I think this team is that talented and that good. I don't know, though, if Dan Lanning is that guy that can overcome losing both of his coordinators and taking this team all the way. I still think they can beat Ohio State. I still think they can win in that shithole. I think Washington or USC might be the team that jumps up there and bites them. They have to go to USC. Seems like everybody's going to USC. Do they play any damn away games? Every time we talk about, they got to go to USC. Well, hell, everybody's going to USC.
Yeah.
Anyway, I think I still want to go over 10.5. I just don't trust them to win the whole thing.
Yeah.
I think they can make a run in the playoffs, but I think Lanning is going to get out coached by somebody somewhere along the way.
I believe both of their coordinators were hired from within.
I believe so, yeah.
which
think
I
their
think
position
which I
coaches,
think could be a good thing because then
at least
Yeah.
they might he's there.
because experience isn't there, but that guy
For
probably
sure.
learned under Will Stein for years and learned the whole system and knows the conversation with Dante Moore, and the same thing on the defensive end with Tosh Lupoy, who's now the Cal head coach. So I think that could be a good thing to kind of negate maybe some of the question marks. But I knew when you mentioned your one question mark, I knew you're going to both coordinators leaving because it is a fair. But I don't know.
It's a good point.
I got faith in Dan Lanning and the Oregon Ducks. I think this could be their year.
Yeah, I think he's a good
Yeah.
coach, no question. And I'm not sitting up here bashing him at all. It's just,
No.
can he deliver? He's kind of got the Mario Cristobal stigma right now with me.
Mhm.
Is when he gets in those moments against those teams and those opposing coaches, can he
Deliver?
Yes. Will he be out coached? And right now, that's the biggest question mark I have. And with two new coordinators, and I listen, I get it, but I've seen too many times a linebackers coach or a D line coach or a running backs coach step into being a play caller, and it's not the same.
Yeah.
And that's where your head coach has to kind of step in and step up. And I just don't know. So over 9.5, or no, 10.5. I'm sorry,
10.5.
Penn State.
Yeah.
Over 10.5. Yes, but I'm not confident in it.
Not confident about it.
I'm not betting.
Yeah.
So
well, I already bet
I
it.
hope they do. I mean, honestly, outside, because I don't pull for anybody in the SEC other than Tennessee. Screw all of them.
Yeah.
I won't have a problem if Oregon runs the table, wins a national championship. If we don't,
Right.
That's just where I am with it. So I got no hate for them. So y'all, let's go, Drew. You had them under. You said
I had them over.
So we're all on over.
Yeah.
Okay.
I got them going to the national championship game.
And they very well could go to the national championship game. Depends on how the brackets lay out and what their path looks like. They certainly have enough talent to do that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just my question mark is on the coaching side of things.
What was the line at again?
10.5. So
Okay.
they've got to 11. They can only lose one.
Yeah. Yeah.
One game. Yeah.
Yeah. So
to me, I think they'll go undefeated, or the one loss I think will come to Ohio State if they do lose.
Y'all both think it's Ohio State?
Yeah. I think they're going to win that game. I picked them to win that game, in the Ohio State breakdown, but
that could go undefeated.
And how football is, if they were to lose one game, I think it'd be the Ohio State game.
And I think that's most people's take on it.
Yeah, for sure.
So, and maybe mine's more wishful thinking than it is confidence that they win. At the big porta potty, but and if they do,
that should be the
real. I'm going to be real concerned about a 11 game because I'm telling you, man, that Washington team, and they've got a history.
Yeah.
And then at Southern Cal, with Maeva, I'm telling you, man, that offense is going to their defense will be shit again, but that offense, they will go.
You're high on them this season, aren't you?
I'm high on Maeva.
Right.
I am not high.
You think he could win the Heisman
at all? Yes, I think he's a dark horse for the Heisman. Yeah, I really do. I think if they get some breaks, because apparently everybody's going there to play. So if they get some breaks in some of these high marquee profile
big games,
whether they win anything in the championship or not, I think the Heisman Trophy is within reach for him. So we'll see. Anyway,
for sure.
Sorry, I said we weren't going to have a 2-hour show, and here we are already 2-hour mark. So, all right,
that's okay.
Move on to Penn State. Their line is sitting at 9.5, and I'll start this one. So, Matt Campbell up and bailed on Iowa State. I mean, who could blame him? Who in the hell want to live there? So, the Big Ten kind of gifted him a welcome to the Big Ten schedule because they don't play Indiana, they don't play Ohio State, and they don't play Oregon. And then he brought a bunch of players with him from Ames, and he also got 6 of the 8 Big Ten teams with the lowest projected win totals. So he got basically handed a ticket to ride, man. Their toughest games are Southern Cal, Michigan, Washington. A lot of people like Wisconsin this year, and yes, I think they will be better when we get to them in a minute. But I'm not scared of them with Penn State playing that game at home. But they got a boatload of transfers coming from Iowa State, and he couldn't win there with them. I don't know if he's going to be able to win the big games in the Big Ten. So for me, 9.5 is too many. I think it's 9, 8 if something doesn't go their way. I don't see 10 wins. I think Southern Cal gets them. I think they lose at Michigan, and I definitely think they lose at Washington. So I've got them 9-3. Drew, what are your thoughts on the fighting Matt Campbell's?
Yeah, this is going to be an interesting take for me. This is my schedule benefited 10-2 team that makes the playoff.
That's possible.
As I kind of think in year one, like I guess maybe the how Tennessee got in, and then I'm trying to think who it was last year. But like bad schedules, they win games and they're in the playoffs and then they get their butts kicked. I think this is exactly what Penn State is this year with the schedule. I think they'll be good enough to go 10-2 with their 2 losses to at Washington, maybe at Michigan or USC. One of those, I think they'll win one of those games.
Okay.
I think they'll go 10-2. I think they'll get in the playoffs. Everybody's celebrating Matt Campbell. Greatest thing since sliced bread. We fired James Franklin for this and that. And then they probably get their butts kicked in the playoff. But it's a playoff result. They're a good team. It's a playoff appearance because the schedule will help them get there. That's my thoughts on Penn State this year.
Yeah, they definitely got gifted. They definitely got gifted a schedule.
Really good schedule.
And, of course, Rocco Beck made the trip over with Campbell. So he's got quarterback coach continuity, even though they're putting on a different uniform. That's still there. So that's definitely a positive.
For sure.
But, man, everybody behind him, they're all freshmen.
Mm-hmm.
So,
yeah.
And Rocco's a little reckless sometimes.
Yep.
So I think that could, for me, that's kind of something I got to keep kind of in the back of my mind of, man, if he gets nicked up, just can't play in one of these big-time games, and you got to hand the ball to a freshman. That's a tough ask.
Yeah.
Playing one of these, these 3 schools that we mentioned.
Yeah, this is like my Miami from last year. I'm not saying they're going to go that far.
Oh, no, I get you, man. Yeah. I know what you're saying. And it's possible that, they get – I mean, I think USC is probably the most likely – maybe Michigan, but it's at Michigan, and they don't historically have play well there. They do get USC at home, but that at Washington game, dude, you can put the big fat L on that.
Mm-hmm.
They're going to lose that game.
I think so, too.
Yeah.
All right, Josh, what do you think about the Nittanies? What is a Nittany line, anyways? Anybody?
Yes.
I have no idea. Maybe a Panther.
No idea. Yeah.
Let me add that to my
Yeah.
question.
So
I'll ask God when I get to heaven. What?
What is a Nittany line? Yeah.
Okay, proceed.
Yeah, so you guys were saying Matt Campbell coming over from Iowa State, first year at the helm at Penn State. Like you were saying, Hammer, they got gifted a really good schedule this year. They avoided Oregon, they avoided Indiana, they avoided Ohio State. But they bring a lot of transfers from Iowa State to this roster to Penn State, which I'm not a fan of Matt Campbell. I was never a fan of Matt Campbell when he was at Iowa State. I thought he was a mid-level coach. And I remember one time when they lost a non-conference game at Ohio, he went after a fan. Don't know what that was about, but I don't like the guy. So, yeah, I'm taking their under, what is it, 9.5 wins this season?
9.5.
Yeah, I'm on the under 9.5 for Penn State. Not a fan of Rocco Beck or Matt Campbell.
Okay, so we're all thinking under 9.5. Then we don't think they're gonna get 10.
Drew's on over, right?
Yep.
Oh, you are. My apologies. All right.
Yeah.
Drew,
I'm on the
Drew,
over. I got them going 10-2, and they're going to make the playoff as like the 10
Yeah.
seed.
Yeah.
Then they'll
Do
get their
you
ass
know
kicked.
how heavily bet Penn State was to make the playoff last year?
Yeah, that's why James Franklin got fired.
Pretty heavy.
Heavily, like 80 in the 80 percentile range.
Yes.
And there were so many cross sport parlay, like season long things that people did with Penn State to make the playoffs.
Yeah.
I can't trust it.
No.
And there's always that potential of them losing one that they shouldn't, like Wisconsin.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. I just can't get there with it, but I admire Drew's faith in Matt Campbell. So
It ain't
Same.
really. I am a Matt Campbell football coach fan. If you gave this team Ohio State schedule, I'd say they're going like 8-4, or like 7-5.
yeah.
If they had,
Yeah.
8 would be
For
a
sure.
shame.
yeah, but they don't. So this is my team.
Yeah.
This is my kind of sleeper team to go like 10-2 and sneak in the playoff. Because it happens every year. There's going to be a team like that every year. And
somebody gets there, like Miami kind of backed into it last year, and
yep,
I was calling it the whole time. We were on live when they did the announcement, and I was calling it the whole time. Everybody was like, "No, it's going to be Notre Dame." I'm like, "No, it's not." No, Miami. So this could be a Miami this year. You're right.
Yeah.
So, all right. Next up is Purdue.
Do we even need to talk about the next team?
They're 3.5. They're going under. Fuck them. Rutgers.
Hold on. Timeout.
Yeah, fuck them.
Timeout.
What?
Purdue's my
Drew's got something.
pick. Did you hear their athletic director yesterday?
Yeah.
If you want to win championships, you come to Purdue, and if not, you go to Indiana.
Yeah. Well, that's all well and good if he's talking about, I don't know, hobby horsing or like the, Indian dick wrestling or whatever other stuff they do.
Men's golf.
But it is not in football.
Yeah.
And
swimming.
Maybe men's basketball, because Indiana has kind of made that trade off of we're going to sacrifice our basketball program to go win national championships in football. And they always go get some, 9'3" dude from God knows where to set up camp in the lane and get 30 fouls a game.
You really hate that guy, didn't you, Hammer?
Foul Ming.
Yeah, but what an asinine comment by their athletic director yesterday.
Yeah, so just for that, I hope you fuckers don't win a single thing this year.
Yeah.
Same. Fuck Purdue.
So Rutgers, 4.5 is the number. Drew, start us off. What about the Scarlet Knights?
I don't see much here from Rutgers.
No, I don't either.
It's just another lower level team in the Big Ten. 4.5. I mean, let me look at their schedule. I mean, just off the top of my head, I'd probably say the under, just based off of Rutgers football program. Yeah, I mean,
lost to them one year back in the 80s, and I've felt so embarrassed that we lost to Rutgers.
Even 30 years later.
The 1980s, not the 1880s, Drew. So don't even start with me.
Yeah, I don't see much from
We didn't
Rutgers.
play them in the 1880s, so.
Yeah, I hope not.
UMass at Boston College, Howard at Northwestern. They host USC in Indiana. They go to Maryland. They host Michigan. They go to Wisconsin. They host Nebraska. They go to Penn State, and they host Michigan State. So at least they don't have to make the, trip to USC this year.
Yeah, that's
They
US
avoid
It's a
game.
long
Yeah.
way from Piscataway, New Jersey.
Oregon and Ohio State.
They do. Yep. And they actually got their quarterback from Boston College. So that tells me two things. One, that they'll be fired up for that game, even though it's on the road. And two,
Yeah.
how damn bad do you have to suck that you went and got Boston College's quarterback?
Yeah, that's tough. Yeah, I'm taking under 4.5.
Josh?
Really, like Drew said, I don't have much to say about Rutgers. If I had to play a side, I'd play under 4.5.
Yeah, I'm under. I got them at 4. I think they win the UMass. I think they win at Boston College just because of the revenge and, drama factor there. And then Howard, and I think they win at Northwestern. Battle of the Brainiacs. I think they get the win. I just don't think Northwestern's got much to offer other than some pretty uniforms and a nice stadium. All right, so that'll take us to Southern California, specifically
The
Pasadena,
volleyball player.
where the University of California at Los Angeles is sitting on a 5.5 win total. Josh, talk to me. What's UCLA
Yeah.
doing with Bob Chesney this year?
Yeah, so Hammer, we know we got rid of his ass, the volleyball player, a.k.a. Nico, I'm never going to leave you. Win total set at 5.5. Bob Chesney, first year at the helm at UCLA. They bring in a lot of transfers on the offense side of the ball. Same with the defense side of the ball. They only return 4 returning starters on defense and 3 on offense. I'm not high on UCLA this year. I got them going under 5.5. I got them losing at Cal, at Oregon. I got Minnesota, Illinois, Michigan, and USC beating them.
Okay.
So that's what I think about UCLA.
Okay. Drew, what do you think?
It's 5.5, correct?
5.5.
I'm gonna take the over. I'm gonna say they get to 6 and 6. I'm gonna say they get.
You're a big Bob Chesney fan, I'm guessing.
I wouldn't say big, but a lot of respect for him as a coach.
That's what I mean. Yeah, like you.
Big fan of Nico too. Favorite quarterback in the country. So I
What? What'd you say?
who said that?
What?
No, I think they'll get the 6 and 6 because I mean, we haven't talked about it, but like some of these teams on their schedule, like there could be similar to what UCLA was last year. Coach getting fired and stuff. There could be some games open up throughout the season. Maybe they got a tough schedule, but I think they take care of business. I think they maybe can pick up some that doesn't look like. I wouldn't be surprised if they win at Cal. I like Tosh
Really?
Lupoy, but I think they could win that game. Obviously, they should beat SDSU. I think they should beat Purdue. So that's already 3. I think they can win at Maryland. That's 4. And then Wisconsin at home, like Luke Fickell on the hot seat. What if there's one he's not coaching there right now? That's 5. Michigan State, that's 6. Nevada, that's 7. So like there's 7 games that they could win. I think they could get to 6. Can they pick off some of these other middle of the pack teams in Minnesota and Illinois? I'm picking this team to win 6 games. I don't know how they get there. I don't know why they get there. I think UCLA goes back to a bowl game.
Well, I think if they're going to navigate this schedule and get to 500, and I think 6 and 6 for a Power 4 gets you a bowl, don't you? I mean,
Yeah.
it's going to be tough to argue not putting, especially when you start having all the opt-outs and we're having to scramble and put 5
Especially
and 7
with a brand like UCLA.
6 teams.
They're getting in a bowl game.
Yeah, the problem is nobody cares about football. Nobody cares about UCLA in Los Angeles, right?
Yeah.
Nobody goes to the game.
Yeah.
So
No.
Certainly nobody cares about him anywhere else. So I'm gonna throw a scenario out here at you. So you've got a new coach in Bob Chesney.
Yep.
You've got a new offensive coordinator.
Mm-hmm.
It's Dean Kennedy, who I will say has a reputation and a pretty good record of developing dual threat quarterbacks.
Yep.
Which Nico Istilasaka is a dual threat quarterback. He is apt to throw an interception as he is to fumble.
Yeah.
So, but if they're going to get there, then that means you have to have some confidence in the volleyball player. Is that what you're telling me?
Hey, he had some big games last year. That game against Penn State, he was really good in it.
He balled out. Yeah.
Can he do it
did,
though?
But, I mean, let's look at what that Penn State team turned into. At the time, it looked like oh shit, right?
Yeah.
That to not be such a big deal, but
No, but that guy.
You're not wrong. He did show some promise, and he actually sort of looked like what a Division I quarterback's supposed to look like, which is not bad for a volleyball player. I get it.
Yeah.
But you think they can get 6?
I do.
What do you think, Hammer?
I don't know why. I don't know how they get to 6. I don't know what it takes from Nico. I don't
They'll
know
somehow get there.
I just think they'll somehow get to 6 wins.
Yeah.
Write it down.
Write it down.
We'll come back to this later at a later date. It's a dead under for me, man, and that's the volleyball player
Justin spotted Nico.
bias aside. I don't think there's any way they beat Cal. That quarterback is just too good. I don't know if they win at Maryland, just because of the travel. I think could be a problem, and there's a good chance that game is early. Maryland plays a lot of noon kicks, so that could be a problem. Now I know the Penn State game was early too, but it was also at home, was it not? Didn't they play at home?
It was at home.
Yeah, so making that trip to Maryland, I think, is tough. They will get destroyed at Oregon. I think Wisconsin beats them. It's tough to win there. That Madison is one of those places that gets loud and
for
rowdy.
sure. Jump around.
We're going to get to them in a minute, but
yep,
they've got a good offensive line and they can run the hell out of the football. I think it's going to be a problem.
Yeah.
At Michigan, I mean, that's got to be a loss, right?
Yeah.
I don't see them beating Michigan. USC will blister them. That may be what puts Maeva over the hump for Heisman is this game against UCLA. Right?
This game, wow.
So that leaves possibly Minnesota, Illinois, Michigan State. As far as conference game goes, that leaves them options there. I think you're right. I think they beat San Diego State. Everybody has their way with Purdue. They're like a $3.
They'll beat Nevada.
And I think Nevada's outclassed, even with a volleyball player at quarterback. So for them to get there, then that means they've got to win
3 more.
Michigan State, Illinois, and they've got to beat either Maryland, Minnesota, or Wisconsin.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Whew, that's a lot to ask. I've got them at 4, bro.
4.
I think Illinois beats them. I think Cal beats them. They lose at Maryland just because of the travel. Oregon and USC sodomize them. I think they lose at Camp Randall. I think P.J. Fleck gets them. And I think they lose in the Big House. I got them at 4. And that's with no bias against the guy they got pretending to be a quarterback out there.
Yeah.
We'll see.
You'll probably be right.
Probably will be.
Yeah.
That's why I wrote it down.
Oh, shit.
It's my one little bold prediction.
Bold prediction.
I give you.
It's a good prediction.
It's bold. Yeah, it's bold.
Yeah.
That's a strong prediction because getting to, let's see, that would be a plus 150 is the payout on that. So if anybody's drinking or picking up what Drew's putting down, that'd be a nice bet to hit. So, all right, well, let's go to Big Brother across town, where the real college football is played in the greater Los Angeles area, and that is the Southern California Trojans. Drew?
Yeah, I mean, we've talked about the quarterback.
Oh, yeah.
Well, what would you say?
What?
All right, I'll keep going. Yeah, we've talked about the quarterback. Kid is a stud. I mean, certainly could be a Heisman front runner, all conference type quarterback. Like, he is a dude. So he's going to lead them. Their offensive line is expected to be pretty good this year. I think this is probably maybe the most talented team Lincoln Riley's had in terms of collective unit at USC. He's had better players at certain spots, but full team. I think this is kind of the team he's been waiting for. Really good running backs, really good receivers, good offensive line, like I mentioned. I think the defense will be pretty good as well. It should be okay defensively.
We certainly think it'll be better. May not be good, but it should be better than it was.
So we know when Lincoln Riley has a really good quarterback, they might not compete for national championships or conference championships, but they always win like 8 or 9 games. And that's where I'm somewhere around with this USC team. I don't think they will be in the deep mix to win the Big Ten, but I think they'll be in the top, I'll say 1/4 of the league. I think USC has a chance to be pretty good, and this is a huge year for Lincoln Riley. Huge year for Lincoln Riley. So this team better play well, or this is a job that could be open at the end of this year.
Yeah, and it would be a pretty attractive job.
Yeah, certainly. And it's kind of embarrassing that he hasn't done better at USC, in my opinion, especially in this new day and age of college football.
Agreed. Yeah.
Yeah, no, 100%, because you got all the resources in the world. You know, there's so many alumni of USC that are,
for sure,
gajillionaires from various professions in the entertainment world. So it's really amazing that there hasn't been it's been 20 years since we've had a good team in Los Angeles.
I got a funny question for you guys.
Go ahead.
Okay. Let's just say Lincoln Riley gets fired. Would USC make a call to try to rehire Lane Kiffin? I don't think they could get him out of LSU.
No.
But they need a big splash hire.
Yeah.
I think they would make an attempt to do it.
Yeah, they thought they made that with Lincoln Riley, right? Because of all the Heisman quarterbacks that he fed out into the league. But man, they've been atrocious on defense. And so,
before I get to USC, I'll go ahead. Sorry.
No, I understand. I don't know what.
I don't know where they would go to hire a coach that they think would get them back to competing at the highest level.
Yeah.
Yeah, before I get to USC, it's probably a big, big, big top dream. But I wouldn't be shocked at all if they threw the money at trying to hire Kurt Signetti. They went after him.
Yeah, I just feel
because, like you said, Drew, they need a big splash hire.
I just feel like Signetti's one of those guys that, like, he's old. He's older in his career. Like, hard knows how long he wants to do it. And he did something so unique that I think he feels like he just owes it to Indiana to stay there and see what happens now.
For sure.
And, like, he's got Mark Cuban in his corner. NIL-wise, they just won a national championship. He's getting any player that he really wants.
Yeah.
So I can see why he would even be interested in that job. The only reason I reference Lane is because, number one, he's been there. Number 2, USC needs a big splash hire. Number 3 would be the most Lane Kiffin shit of all time to coach 1 year at LSU and then go back to a school that fired him 20 years ago. Like, it would be the most Lane Kiffin story ever. I don't know who they try to hire.
Hey, Steve Sarkisian, he coached there too.
That could be interesting because what if Texas fails and he gets fired?
Yeah.
Yeah. I think if he does, he's on to the NFL, though.
I did too.
Not that I think that's a good move, but I think that's what happens.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, so let's talk USC. So, like Drew said, they bring back most of everybody on the offensive side of the ball, bring back most of the offensive line. I do like what they did bringing in transfer wide receiver Terrell Anderson from NC State. Kid's a stud. Nick Hines had a great year last year as a freshman for USC. I think he's going to have another breakout year. I like Wayman Jordan at the run back position. I think they're not going to rely too heavy on the pass game. I think they're going to run the ball, mix it up as well. And defensive-wise, they bring in 3 transfers. I don't think the defense is going to be ass like it was in the past few years. I think top 50, top 75. But the thing is with Lincoln Riley, like you said, Hammer, you said, Drew, he shits down his leg in games he shouldn't lose, like Minnesota, Rutgers, Nebraska, what have you. I got USC going 8-4 this year. I got them losing to Oregon, Ohio State, Penn State, and Washington. But I do think Maeva has a great year, stats-wise. Hammer?
All right. So you have over.
What's that total? Is that 8.5?
Yeah, it's 8.5.
I got them losing 4 games.
Oh, you have them losing 4. So
Yeah.
Oregon, Ohio State, Indiana, and who?
Oregon, Ohio State, Indiana, Washington.
Washington. Okay.
That's what I have. I have them going 8-4.
All right. I'm not a Lincoln Riley fan. I don't have a lot of faith and confidence in him as a coach. But does anybody know who had the number 1 offense in the Big Ten last year?
USC.
See?
It was USC. Southern Cal. And does anybody know who led the Big Ten in passing?
USC's quarterback.
Jane Maeva.
Jade Maeva. He averaged 285 yards a game last year. Had 24 touchdowns and ran for 6 more. He's got 4 starters back on the offensive line. So we've got head coach, quarterback, and basically offensive line continuity. And they were one of the best offensive lines in the country. They also averaged over 5 yards a carry in the run game.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So the offense is coming back intact. Now, you do lose Mekhi Lemon and Jacoby Lane.
Yep.
And that type of production is going to be really tough to replace. But, again, going back to you're going to get a line that can protect your quarterback and run the football when they need to. And they've still got some good players.
The Hines kid's going to be a stud.
Zacharias Williams is a big dude, and then they get Terrell Anderson from North Carolina State.
Yeah.
So big time signing, but they do have a lot of production that they've got to make up for because Lemon and Lane were just beasts. Mekhi Lemon, of course, won the Biletnikoff Award, right?
Yeah.
So, but I think Josh may have said it about running the football. They're going to have to run it because when they ran the ball last year, crazy stat, from a team that slung it all over the yard, Heisman candidate quarterback, and the number one offense in the conference, they were 8-0 when they ran the ball for more than 130 yards a game. When they were under 130 rushing, they were 1-4. So they've got to be able to run the football. The good news is King Miller is back. He had just shy of 1,000 yards last year, scored 8 touchdowns. And Wayman Jordan averaged 6.5 yards a carry, missed half the season. He's healthy. They've got the best running back combination they've had since Reggie Bush and Lindell White. So everything about this offense screams, we're going to cook. Sorry, let me scroll through some of my other stuff. Oh, and by the way, I don't know if you remember or anybody knows, but they hired Gary Patterson to be their defensive coordinator this year. So everybody remembers him, of course, at TCU. So he's going to, probably short of Bill Belichick, he's probably the best defensive coach in college football, quite honestly. So they've got some good linebackers. They've got good pass rush. The secondary is probably where they're the most susceptible. But the rest of the league average somewhere in the, or quarterbacks average somewhere in the 235 to 240 yards a game range. So as long as they can just keep big plays, not getting burned on big chuck plays, I think they'll be okay. Cameron Crawford, that's the guy I was looking for here. He's 6'5", 265, so he's like legit NFL size defensive end. And they had like 71 tackles for loss last year. So the defensive line wasn't an issue. They just couldn't stop anybody on the back end. So, if they can just be average against the good teams, I don't know, man. I think they could surprise some people. I'm taking them over. I think the only 3 games they lose are going to be a combination of Oregon, Ohio State, Indiana, and Washington, and I think they're going to win one of those. I think
they got to go. They got to go on the road to Penn State too, which
they do have to go to Penn State, which we talked about the travel.
We know.
Yeah,
it's tough fighting in Happy Valley.
Yeah, that's going to suck. And if when is that game? Does anybody have that schedule?
October 10th.
I just listed the teams they were playing. I didn't put them in an order.
Yeah, I mean they got Oregon at home, then they got Washington at home, and then they go at Penn State. No buys in between those 3 games. So
that's a tough little stretch they got there then.
Yeah.
I don't know. My gut's saying over. I'm going to take it over. I think they get at least 9, and if some things go right, they catch some breaks. If the defense under Gary Patterson can elevate,
10 games maybe.
They could even get to 10. Yeah, I don't think it's out of the realm. Let me see what would a over 9.5 be. Let me look that up because now I'm curious. I may bet it. So over 9.5 would be plus 300.
Pretty good value. Run that down.
I'll think about that. I'm higher on.
Not a bad bet.
Them this year than I was last year. Because a combination of, again, quarterback coach continuity. You got the majority of your offensive line coming back, and you hired one hell of a defensive coach. So they've got the athletes. There's no question
they
about
do.
that. It's just if they navigate the schedule, because it's not terrible, but they do have to play the big boys, all 3 of them.
Yeah.
So, All right, I'm taking over 8.5. I'm gonna probably bet this over 9.5 at plus at 3-1. So there you go.
Mine's like them to win the Big Ten too, Hammer.
Well, let's see what that is. I just don't know if they're gonna win the Big Ten.
What's that?
It's
You skipped out.
very top heavy.
Yeah.
Let's see. That's under futures conference. So they would be plus 1,400. They are the tallest midget. You have Ohio State, Indiana, and Oregon all under 3-1. USC would be the next team with the shortest odds, and they're
14-1.
plus 1,400. So
Yeah.
it's definitely a 3-horse race according to the folks in Vegas. So
Yeah.
I can get behind that. Plus 1,400. I like the sound of that. That's worth $10. Why not?
Yeah.
So, all right. You boys are. You both got them at 8-4.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I'm the lone wolf on that one. That's fine. All right. So our last two, we have Washington and we have Wisconsin.
Jeez.
So Washington is sitting at
Yeah.
7.5. Let's see. Josh, did you start? Go ahead. I don't care. Go ahead and start.
Okay.
7.5.
Yeah. So I'm a big fan of Washington. I'm a big fan of their quarterback. Big fan of their coach, Jed Fish, in his third year. Damon Williams. Kid's a absolute stud playmaker. They bring in one transfer, one true freshman starting at the left tackle. On defense, they're bringing in most of everybody back besides one true freshman on the right defensive tackle and one transfer coming in at the left cornerback spot. So I'm with you, Hammer. I like Washington at 7.5 wins. I think they're going to be a sleeper in this conference, and I got them winning 10 games. I got them going 10-2 with this schedule. Yes.
Okay.
Got them losing at Oregon, and I got them losing to Indiana at home. And I got them winning the rest of them, going 10-2. I just think Damon Williams in that offense is going to pick up where they left off last year. And offense won't be a problem. Question is, can their defense step up this year? I know defense was solid last year. If they can get pretty good defensive play, I think they're going to be a 10-2 team. So, yeah, I like the Huskies going 10-2.
Okay. All right. Shoot. Every time I switch over to one thing, it resets and pushes me to a different screen. I'll learn how to use this thing one day. So over 9.5 isn't even on the board. How about that? So that must be a juicy little payout then. If you're confident about it, it looks like it'd be a good payout. So, all right. So you got them over.
Yep,
Drew?
7.5.
We mentioned them. We've teased them a little bit. What are your thoughts on this Huskies team?
Yeah, Damon Williams is he's a fun quarterback. I'm obviously it's a weird situation. Lane takes the LSU job. A little bit of tampering going on. He enters the portal.
Oh, say it ain't so. Not Lane.
That's what I was. Yeah. And then he returns to Washington, and they stood on business and got him back there. Josh, you mentioned some players. The one guy I wanted to mention was a true freshman last year, Desmond Roebuck. He had 42 catches, 560 yards, 7 touchdowns. They're going to be looking for him to have a really big year this upcoming year after losing Denzel Boston, a wide receiver we talked about, went to the NFL last year. This schedule is not very difficult at all. Outside of the last 2 games is where it really gets challenging. Obviously, have Indiana at home and then at Oregon to finish the year. I'm going to take this team to go 9-3. I don't know what game they're going to lose early in the year, but I just feel like they're going to lose one. Maybe at USC, maybe Iowa at home, like the Iowa, weird defensive juggernaut, crazy game comes out. And then I have them losing the last 2 weeks, but I think 9-3. I think they'll be a dangerous 9-3. I don't think they get in the playoffs, and obviously won't make the Big Ten championship, but I think they're going to give some of those, at least the last 2 weeks. I think they're going to give those teams some trouble. I like Jed Fish as a coach, like Damon Williams, like I've said, like we've said. So this Washington team has a chance to be really, really good. And hell, I wouldn't be shocked if they went 10-2 or 11-1 either. Like if every question mark around their team hit and Damon Williams takes a huge leap forward, I mean, this kid could be like, hey, I mean, he's way down the list, but he could be like a Heisman sleeper, way down the list. That's how good I think he has a chance to be. So,
yeah. Well, I'll be honest, man. I like the guys that are way down the list because
those are the guys playing with no expectations, and the
unlike
guys
a lot of
that have
other
the
people, I don't
expectations.
think this Heisman race is.
We kind of tripped over.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I was just saying that a lot of the times in the Heisman, the preseason favorites, it's not like they play bad, but there's so high expectations they get bashed throughout the year.
Yep.
The preseason expectations, and the guys you don't think of, they play well and they come from behind, and that's who wins the Heisman. So
yeah,
it's kind of the way college football is nowadays in the media, and everybody has a platform, everybody has a voice, and Heisman front runners and all these things, they just get, when one thing goes wrong, they just get told you suck, and then the Heisman hype for them goes away.
in the last 2 Heisman winners were long shot winners, Travis Hunter and Fernando Mendoza.
Yeah, wasn't Hunter like 100-1 or something ridiculous?
Yeah, 100-1.
Yeah, so I like those guys way down the list because it's rare.
I do too.
It's rare that a Heisman favorite goes wire to wire and wins it.
Yeah,
It's very rare. That's why I kind of like, just to talk about it since we're on this subject. We talked about Maeva. He is plus 2,500. Darian Mensah, who I like a lot at Florida, is plus 1,200.
Miami.
What'd I say?
Florida.
Good God. What is wrong with me?
And that goes against everything you stand for.
Yeah, why do you mention Chlamydia, you hammer?
Miami of Florida.
Yes.
Ooh, Lord, forgive me. I want to go
It's too late.
drink some holy water or something. Trinidad Chambliss, a lot of people like. He's plus 1,300. Marcel Reed, plus 2,500.
Mm.
But then you want to get down into some of the deeper ones. Probably not happening. But Byron Brown at Auburn is plus 5,000. Sorry. Our boy Damon Williams is plus 5,500 as a Heisman long shot. I kind of like, as a really crazy play, is Cam Coleman at plus 10,000. But the problem is,
Arch would win it.
Yeah.
If Cam has a big season, then who's going to get the credit for it?
Yeah.
Arch
Manning.
Exactly. So,
I
mean, I'll put it this way: I would rather put $25 on Damon Williams at plus 5,500 than $25 on Lenore Sellers at plus 4,000.
Yeah.
I got a lot more confidence in Damon Williams than I do Lenore Sellers, and I actually like Sellers, but I think Williams is in a better situation, conducive to what a Heisman campaign would look like.
Mhm.
And I know we'll get into the Big 12 next week, but I like Devin Dampiers a long shot to win the Heisman.
I don't hate that either. I saw his name on here
Yeah.
and was going to mention him, but not there yet. But yeah,
Right.
he's he's like 70-1 right now.
Yeah.
So I don't hate it at all. Let me get back on the Big Ten here. So I'm on USC over. Excuse me, Washington over. I'm sorry. I think they lose. I think they lose to Southern Cal. They're probably going to lose to Oregon. But the only other game I think that could possibly be an issue for them, and it's going to sound crazy after what we just talked about. I think they beat Indiana.
Oh shit.
I think they go 10-2.
See, I got him reversed, and I got him losing to Indiana, but winning at USC.
Can they beat Oregon in Eugene?
No.
No way.
I kind of agree. I think that's a loss. And I don't know that playing at USC is necessarily a tough environment, but I think that's going to turn into a track meet. It's going to be one of those whoever has the ball last probably going to
Yeah. For sure.
win. There's some people I've actually heard, and legit Vegas dudes too, not just some random ass sports writer. There's people thinking that the game at Nebraska could be a loss.
I mean,
You gotta be kidding me.
have to be a stud for that.
I mean, this is crazy because there's people actually giving Nebraska a legitimate chance to beat them, but yet think that Washington will beat Indiana at home.
Hey, that's college
Yeah.
football.
So the window is pretty broad from
Yeah.
with people, experts analyzing and projecting this team. And they play Washington State. It's at home.
Oh, they'll
Win.
win 30.
They'll
They
kill
should
them.
demolish them, but those rivalry
Yeah.
games, you never know. But
Right.
That's
man, I
week
don't know.
one, isn't it?
Yes.
I think it is week one.
That's Kirby Moore's first game as a head coach.
Yeah, it'll be ugly. I'm sure.
That's the Sunday game, yeah.
So I think they can win. They're demolishing over 7.5.
Yeah.
At worst, it's 9. At worst, it's 9. But I think they get 10. I think they win 2 of the 3 against Southern Cal, Oregon, and Indiana.
Hammer, do you think there's a chance they make the Big Ten championship game at 10-2, depending on who they lose to from the Big Ten?
Depends on which of those, what formula
Right.
that they get to 10 wins will matter.
Yes.
I think at worst it's 8, but I'm picking them to win 9.
Yeah, I think the
Yeah.
absolute floor is 8 games because
Yeah.
8.
even if they lose,
Yes.
if they do lose to Indiana, USC, Oregon, then it's going to be like a Penn State.
Yeah, it'd be at
8-4.
Yeah, so I don't think there's anybody else on there that can beat them. And I think if Damon Williams has
What
the
we think
season
he
that
is.
it would take to get
Yeah.
to 10-2, then I think he's legitimate as a Heisman Trophy candidate. So if I'm going to bet Washington to win 10 games, then damn it, I'm betting them to win the Big Ten, and I'm going to bet them
Yeah.
that Damon Williams wins the Heisman. So and,
Like
and
it.
to make the CFP. So I will.
Yeah.
If I'm that confident in them, and I'll make that decision a little later. But if I'm that confident in them, then I'm betting the whole board with them because the value is ridiculous on this team.
Yeah.
So All right. All right. Lastly, we go to Madison, Wisconsin. The line is 6.5. We have Luke Fickle, who I guess he kind of bought himself a win with a couple late games last year.
Mm-hmm.
Showed a little bit of sign of momentum going into this season. But they also are 2-12 in their last 14 Big Ten games. So
Not good.
I think it's probably this is probably of that coaching cycle. This is probably the one that I'm the most surprised at, and
Yeah.
think is the biggest disappointment because, granted, I know it's the Big Ten, but damn, outside of 2 or 3 teams, he should have run roughshod in this conference,
Yeah.
and he is 2-12. So in his last 14, of course. So man, I
Right.
don't know. What do y'all think, Drew? Let's start with you. What are your thoughts, Luke Fickle, the Badgers, going into this season?
Not much, really. Like I don't. I think for a program like Wisconsin, hot seat year, I just don't think they did. They didn't do a whole lot in the offseason, in my opinion. Like I don't really. To be honest, I don't really know much even about their roster. I just think Fickle's kind of a dead man walking. I look at their schedule, like I think they'll go somewhere between 5 or I guess 4 to 6 wins if everything goes well. I have them going about 6-6. I don't know. I think it's ran its course at Wisconsin. Like I don't think he's done a very good job coaching there. Doesn't seem like there's much of a culture. There's no offensive identity. I know they fired their offensive coordinator, but yeah, I think this isn't the worst team in the Big Ten, but they're not too far off, in my opinion. I would be shocked if this team wins 6 games and goes to a bowl, and Luke Fickle keeps his job.
Yeah, yeah. I think it's a make or break season, no matter what happens. I think it's make or break, and if they do go under 6.5, like you just said, I think it's a break up.
Yeah, I don't have
Get
them
off
going over
something.
6.5.
Yeah, yeah. I think he's got to win. I think he's got to win probably 8 this year. He
Mm-hmm.
sort of limped across the finish line last year and got a stay of execution. But it's just, I don't know, man. It's just not worked, and it's been one of the weirdest kind of deals that, these last 3 seasons have just been wonky. And I really didn't expect it because,
Yeah.
he's coming off a college playoff appearance, for God's sake, at a group of 5 school. So I don't know, Josh. What do you think? Drew's on under 6.5. Doesn't think very much of this team collectively.
Yeah, this team made a lot of moves in the transfer portal, bringing in 5 guys from the offense side of the ball and bringing in 6 from the defense side of the ball. I like what they really did at the quarterback position, bringing in Colton Joseph from Old Dominion. I think what we saw last year against Indiana first game, yes. I think this team is going to surprise people. I'll have them getting to exactly 7 wins on the schedule, and I'll break it down for you guys. First game, Notre Dame lost, of course. Second game, Western Illinois win. Eastern Michigan win. At Penn State, that's a loss. Michigan State at home, win. I got that as their 3rd win. They get a bye week, then they go to at Michigan State. I got them winning that game. Four wins. I meant at UCLA, not Michigan State, but yeah, 4 wins. Sorry. Next game, USC, that's a loss. At Iowa, loss. Rutgers at home, I got that counted as a win. At Maryland, win. In that Purdue, win. Then Minnesota at home, loss. So I got them exactly going 7 wins. and they go to a bowl, and Fickle keeps his job.
Okay. So you got them at, you say 7 or 8?
7.
I was at 8 that I just counted. Let's see.
Yeah.
Purdue, Maryland, Rutgers, UCLA, Michigan State, Eastern Michigan, Western Illinois. Three, 4, 5. Yeah, I got them winning 7. Yeah, 7. 7 games. What do you think, Cameron?
Yeah, because, I mean, this schedule is very manageable. I mean, obviously, other than having to deal with Notre Dame, going to Penn State, they go to Iowa also, which isn't going to be a cakewalk.
Mm-hmm.
They play USC, but it is at home. But they don't play Ohio State. They don't play Michigan. They don't play Oregon. They don't play Illinois. They don't play Washington. Of the teams on their schedule, Michigan State, UCLA, Rutgers, Maryland, Purdue, Eastern Michigan, Western Illinois. Guess what all those teams have in common?
They
They
suck.
didn't go to a bowl last year.
Yep.
So, from a schedule standpoint, it's kind of laid out in front of him. Like, you really, other than Notre Dame, you really couldn't have asked for a better schedule to kind of try to right the ship. And then you bring Colton Joseph in, who's going to be, for Luke Fickle's sake, hopefully the savior to come in and make this offense click. Which, again, great offensive line, great running the football. Struggle a little bit with passing game last season, but Colton Joseph certainly did not. Something interesting, though, Wisconsin was dead damn last in FBS with the fewest first downs in the nation. Really? A team that prides itself on being able to run the football, a team that has sent star after star after star into the NFL. Dead
Used
last.
to. Used to.
Used to. Yeah, used to. Dead last. 169 first downs all season long. Fumbles. They lost or fumbled 16 times last year, lost 4. Their opponents, with that crappy schedule, only fumbled 6 times and only lost 1. This defense does not create turnovers at all. And they had trouble scoring. They averaged 12, just under 13 points a game, 12.8 points. Their opponents averaged almost 22 a game. So this offense has got to get better and get better quick. And granted, they've had a lot of injuries at the quarterback position. But something's got to change, or Vickle's gone for sure. That's a lot to ask of Colton Joseph. He's going to have some help. They need a complete overhaul in offensive production. The defense, not bad. The run defense is excellent. Where they get burned, and you can just go to the Indiana game last year when Mendoza was damn near perfect in that game. Just absolutely picked them apart, and a lot of short intermediate stuff too. It wasn't burning them deep. It's they can't guard the middle of the field.
Yeah,
that's got to get better. So very winnable games on this schedule. I think Western Illinois, Eastern Michigan, probably Michigan State, and I think Maryland. But Notre Dame, that's a loss. At Penn State, that's a loss. I think they lose UCLA. Already talked about that because of the travel. USC at home doesn't matter. Play that game on the moon. USC's winning. So then you got at Iowa, Rutgers, at Purdue, and Minnesota. So to get to 6, you got to win 2 of those, right?
Yeah.
Because we got 4 wins with Western, Eastern Michigan, Michigan State, Maryland. All right, so that's 4.
Yep.
We know who they're losing to without question. So you've got to find 2 wins against an Iowa, a Rutgers, a Purdue, or a Minnesota. I don't think they do it. I think they're under. I think they lose at Iowa. Hell, Purdue might beat this team. That's how bad it is.
You think so?
Purdue
I got
could
them
beat
at
this
6.
team.
I got them at 6-6.
Yeah. I think they win at least one of those 4. They may win 2. They may beat Rutgers and they may win
Yeah.
at Purdue. I think they lose to Iowa, and I don't know. Minnesota's a toss-up. That's a big rivalry game. The axe and all that good stuff. It doesn't matter. By the time we get there, they will already have Luke Fickell's departure and exit interview set up. So
Yeah,
it's
certainly.
under. It may be 6, but it's under, and it could very easily be 5 and 7.
And if they start bad, Fickle might be going midway through.
You're right. He may not make it. He may not make it through the season. They may let him go. If they lose ugly, he may be gone, and they don't finish. They don't let him finish the season. That's entirely possible.
Yeah, and they have a reason to too, because you could make the case that he should have been let go last year, and they gave him one more year. And if they get off to a bad start, he's going to get canned probably the first chance they can.
Yeah.
So he needs to get off to a good start to the year. They need to play better football, especially offensively and defensively.
Yeah.
And then
if they
maybe
do that, they need to make Jeff Grimes the interim, so when they get to the end of the season, they can fire his ass too.
Yeah, and maybe they win early and play well, and they build some confidence that can help them get to 7 or 8 wins magically. But I just don't see it. I just don't see it. 6-6 isn't even a stretch in my opinion. That's
I
what
agree,
I'm
Juice.
6, and I really would be. Yeah. I would not be surprised at all if he got fired midway through the year.
Yeah, it wouldn't shock me either. Yeah, man, I'm a huge fan of Colton Joseph. I'm with you. Him, and I'll be honest, I was big Josh Hoover wagon last season. Neither one of those happened, and of course, I'm all for whoever wins our quarterback spot. Face on Brandon. So you think Wisconsin can beat Penn State? That's interesting.
No way.
I mean, I don't think that's far-fetched. I think possible. Not out of the question.
I mean, it's at Happy Valley, though. That's the thing.
It is. Yeah.
That's kind of the hang-up I have with it.
Yeah.
It'd be interesting to see what the line in that game is, though.
Yeah.
Like, to me, no question, they're starting the year 2-2. And then what can they do after that? Like, that's really what it comes down to. They start 2-2, and then they get 2 easy games. What happens in those games?
Yeah.
Yeah. They absolutely got to beat the teams they're supposed to beat.
They do.
Yeah. I shouldn't say easy games, but like winnable games.
Games they should be favored in. They have to win those games. And then they're going to have to upset somebody along the way. I don't know, man.
No way,
Drew.
Yeah,
there you go. Yeah, because it's college
football.
Right? Anything can happen. It just may not be likely to happen.
Yeah. Kentucky can beat Tennessee.
No, they can't.
Exactly.
We're talking about real possibilities here.
I mean, whoever thought UCLA would beat Penn State last year?
Well, that was after they lost to Oregon, though. But that was after they lost to Oregon, and that was in the res. There's no way.
Bad in that game too. Like they look pathetic. In that game. That's why I was
there's no way.
What is going on?
There's no way Wisconsin goes on the road to Penn State.
Yeah.
And gets a win.
I absolutely hammered Penn State in that game. I lost my ass on that one because I thought there is no way.
Yeah.
No way they'll even this game be over at halftime. Well, it was.
I need more. I need more of that energy from UCLA this year after my 6-6 take.
Yeah, that was pretty good. Over 5.5 for you. I wrote it down, dude. No, legit, wrote it down.
Hey, if this hits, I'm celebrating.
Yeah.
That's my national champion.
If
That's
this
my
hits,
national championship take of this whole series of the show. UCLA wins 6 games, so I might have to get me a UCLA shirt or something. Although I don't wear Under Armour.
Let's not get carried away.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, you're right. The first year.
Biden for his job with nothing to lose. Yeah.
Yeah, he'll definitely be. He's very fortunate he has the job now.
But there's a coach
Matt Kemp. Yeah, go ahead.
There's a coach like Luke Fickell look at his job like nothing to lose or everything to lose.
I don't know, man. We see these coaches just
with nothing to lose.
Terrible, terrible records, and somebody. I mean, Sunbelt Billy. Let's be honest.
Yeah.
So you may have to take a step back, but somebody's willing to hire you, for sure. So
yeah,
you would get a group of a good group of 5 job for sure.
Oh yeah, like a Tulane or
and he would deserve one.
A good G6 job. He would.
Hell, we'll talk about the Big 12 next week, but are we sure like Scott Satterfield safe at Cincinnati? What if went back?
I mean, he made the CFP.
Not far-fetched.
So it's not completely out of the question.
And you think about it, he's probably pissed that he left. Based on
his performance at Wisconsin, I'd say there's probably some regret in there.
Well, and then Cincinnati going to the Big 12 and stuff like that, and how much the sport has changed. And you think of where he had Cincinnati, and then they go to the Big 12, and the Big 12 outside of 2 teams is pretty wide open.
Yeah.
So
between, I mean, we're not gonna. I'm not gonna say it. We'll get into it next week when we do the Big 12. But yeah, there's definitely. I think there's definitely some buyer's remorse on both parts. I think Wisconsin is definitely disappointed. They did not get the. They did not get the result that they certainly expected, and I think Luke Fickell's disappointed with it too, because he didn't want to go up there and not, at least be in the 8, 9, 10 win conversation every year.
Competitive.
And this year, especially with the schedule, like they dodged the heavies, man.
Yeah.
So he doesn't win with this. He's just never gonna win.
He's out.
I think everybody recognizes that, and it'll be, sorry, Luke, the force was not with you. The F out.
Yeah.
So, because Wisconsin, since Barry Alvarez left, dude, they've been very, very mid. Big
and
Ten. Mid Big Ten is not good.
And they're proud fan base, like they care.
They are.
A great fan base, a great environment, a lot of STDs, so they know how to have a good time up there in Madison.
Yes.
It's a shame that they don't have a better product to get infected with. So anyway, all right, we've talked this team, that team, championship game, CFP, blah 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 blah. So boys, let me hear your final call, last call. Who plays in the Big Ten championship? Who gets the automatic bid to the playoff?
Go ahead, Drew.
No, you got it. Go ahead.
I got Indiana and Oregon in the Big Ten championship game, and I got Indiana over Oregon.
All right, say it again. I'm sorry, I wasn't prepared.
Yeah, I got Indiana in the Big Ten championship game against Oregon, and I got Indiana over the Oregon Ducks. Hoosiers repeat as Big Ten champs.
Okay, so you're on the Signetti. I know you're a big fan of Signetti.
I am,
and that's not a bad thing. I think the guys. A lot of what is
hell of a coach.
In college football, because he's old school coach. He doesn't put up with no bullshit. He built this thing. He took a bunch of 3 and 4 stars, mostly 3 stars.
Yeah.
And built this thing into, a championship statistically the worst team that's ever played Division I football.
Yep.
And here we
Next
are.
to Purdue.
So,
Yep.
anyway, Drew.
Drew.
Yeah, we're
Big
gonna
Ten
keep.
title game, and who wins it?
Well, me and Joshy boy, we're gonna stay consistent because we're gonna have the same teams, but it's gonna be flip flop. I got Oregon over Indiana in the Big Ten championship.
Man,
I almost flipped last minute and put Ohio State, and then I was like, I can't do that. I picked under the 9.5.
Yeah.
Picked them to win 9 games, so I had to stay.
Yeah.
I had to stay there. So Oregon over Indiana.
Yeah.
oh boy. Well, it's a very top-heavy league. It's a very short list
It
of
is.
teams that can even win this thing, and I think there's 4 in that conversation. Realistically, I mean, there's probably only 3.
Mm-hmm.
And I can't believe that both you guys are not putting Ohio State in this championship game.
And you're putting them in.
I'd say I was doing it. I said I'm surprised that both of you omitted Ohio State from the championship game.
Yeah.
I'm torn. I thought I knew what I wanted to do when coming into this, and I think I'm sticking with it, even though I'm not as crazy about it now. I had Oregon over USC. And then I sort of talked myself into Ohio State. But then I think also, well, if Oregon beats Ohio State, like I think is going to happen, then Ohio State gets that rematch in the championship, and more than likely, I think Ohio State would win that, and I don't want to see that happen. So, fuck them. I'm putting USC in there. Oregon over USC. Big Ten championship.
I thought you had maybe Washington as a sleeper in the Big Ten championship game.
I do. I have them as a sleeper, possibly.
Gotcha.
Win it. And I said I would bet it based on the
Yeah.
odds because they're
Right.
25-1 to win the conference.
Great value.
But that's not what I think is going to happen. That's just a value
Right.
bet.
Yeah.
So
I mean,
think-
to be
Gotcha.
honest, though, like maybe they could if you look at their schedule. Like if they could beat Penn State on the road and then get one of those last 2 weeks. If they were
Yeah.
now they would have to hit on every area. I don't expect them to do that. They would be 11-1.
Good prediction, Juice.
I don't know if they would be that good, but
yeah.
I'm
I
just
think the problem I have with Indiana is the schedule. And I think
Yeah.
I actually think the offense may be better.
mm-hmm.
But I don't know if they hold up with the schedule is the only thing. And we've got
True.
another season of tape on Indiana and Signetti's,
Yeah.
offense and schemes and tendencies and all that stuff. So to me, they're kind of like the Patriots. They're still really good, and they're still going to be in
Yeah.
the conversation at the end of the season. But I think the schedule might be what tips the scale from an 11-1 team to a 10-2, 9-3 team. Just
Fair.
because it's much more of a gauntlet this year.
Yeah.
And I think Oregon is primed. I think this is where they can make a run. I don't know that they'll get there because, like I shared with the coordinator change, and I'm just not. Lanning just hasn't done it yet, so it's hard for me to really back it. But I think they can get there. I think they can go through this conference, and it's going to take a big time team to knock them out. But ultimately, I think that could be the case. And yes, that's exactly we kind of talked about, or what we were talking about with Riley is like this is pretty much it. Like you're not going to have a better scenario, better schedule,
Agreed.
a better group of talent, experience on the offensive line. You got your quarterback. Yeah, you lost
Yep.
2 big time receivers, but you've still got plenty of talent. You got a transfer in there that's really good, and the defense sure as hell can't be any worse. And I think under Gary Patterson, it will definitely improve.
Yeah.
So, yeah, they
Make or break year for USC.
I think they really can. And Maiva is going to torch his way through this conference. That kid can sling it. So, not necessarily a USC fan. I'm just a fan of how this team is setting up. So we'll see. But Drew and I both think Oregon win. Josh thinks Indiana defeats Oregon to
Yep.
get the automatic bid and win the Big Ten. So nobody has Ohio State in the conference championship game.
Nope.
Are we full of anti-Ohio tank that we refuse to put them in there? I know I am.
I'm just down on them this year.
They're talented as hell, and they could win this thing because they're making the playoff, right? So once they get there,
Yeah.
they could be a problem for anybody. Seriously, because talent-wise, they're good enough.
Yeah.
The schedule's tough.
Yeah.
Yes.
But I think once they get into the playoff, it's all bets off. I don't know that I would count them.
Yeah.
out, whether they play in the conference championship game or not, because we've seen other teams
For sure.
do that. So.
Yeah, I mean, I said I thought Ohio State would go like 9-3 or 10-2.
Mm-hmm.
They also very well could win the national championship. It's just
They could go undefeated and win the national championship too. They've got enough talent.
I'm a big
to do
fan
that.
of the offensive coordinator hiring Arthur Smith. I think he was a terrible play call in the NFL. I don't know if it would make him any better in college. I guess a little bit different game.
Yeah.
And Julian saying, I know he had a good year last year, but like I'm still a little questionable on him. And now he only, now he doesn't have Cardinal Tate. It's Ohio State. They have receivers everywhere. So I'm sure there's another one or another three in that program that are the next superstars. But
sure. Yeah. And I think we'll find
yeah.
out how good they are early because, obviously the game at
We will.
Texas
Texas.
is going to tell a lot about
that
both
game
of
is going to
teams.
determine so much for both programs.
Yes.
The same way that
this
Oklahoma and
magnitude to be
Michigan
this
will.
early is that's a lot, man.
The same
Yeah.
way Oklahoma and Michigan will. Both of those games are going to tell us so much we need to know.
Agreed.
All four of those programs.
Yeah. Well, I'm fucking hammering Oklahoma.
Because I think Oklahoma legit. We'll talk about it when we do the SEC, but
Yeah.
to be a national championship sleeper.
Way too many people sleeping on Oklahoma.
Yeah.
Way too many people.
You're hammering Oklahoma in that game.
What's that?
I said you're hammering Oklahoma in that game against Michigan.
Yes. Yeah, I think they whip them pretty good. I think defensively they are way superior.
Mm-hmm.
And if Mateer's healthy, which we're told he is, I don't think Michigan's going to have any answers.
Yeah.
Answers for that team, and Venables he'll have a defense that will do
Yes.
stuff at Michigan that they've never seen. So,
For sure.
that is a hammer lock. We're going to call them going forward. So
I'll write that down.
I would say bookmark it, but every time I do that, I get a flood of messages later on because I'm wrong. So
Yeah.
I'm not saying that. So, all right. Well, guys, we ran hella longer than I expected.
3 hours.
So if I kept you from anything, then I'm not a damn bit sorry.
That's all right.
We will reconvene again on Tuesday. We'll dig into another pair of NFL divisions and then back on Thursday for another round of college football. You can catch Drew and I tomorrow night. The happy hour show right here, Heavy Pour Sports. Josh, we'll look forward to seeing you back
Tuesday.
Next week.
We got my division Tuesday, the AFC South and NFC North.
Yep. So we're going to let you tell us all the wonderful things about the Titans and why everybody else in that division sucks.
All right. Sounds good.
So, all right. Well, boys, thank you so much. I appreciate all of the effort. I appreciate the flexibility while I was out doing deplorable things with worse people last night. Y'all holding it down, doing the heavy lifting tonight. So I do appreciate that and look forward to seeing y'all back here on Tuesday. So from everybody
Sounds good.
at Heavy Pour Sports, Hammer is saying go Vols.
Go Vols.
Go Cats.
We'll see you next time.